What is up, everybody? I am Jesse Goku, and we are officially live here on the Geeks 5 Ever podcast. I do apologize to everybody. I am very, very sorry. We started 10 minutes early. We are super early today because we're on a really tight schedule. As you can notice, Keyblade Sonic's not here, but I am your host, King Mexico, Jesse Goku, El Oso, and joining me as always is Raph, RGF, Jace, Keyblade Sonic's not here. And believe it or not, we have Jon Bailey. Well, he's below me right here. Jon Bailey from Honest Trailer is here. Welcome to the podcast, sir. First off, thank you. We already have. Normally, we give our listeners a little chance to join because we play like music for 3 minutes and then too bad. Let's get this shit so. Man, how was everybody's weekend? We have Jon here. Look at this. I'm excited. I was like, when he joined, I was like, man, should I put on pants? I'm nervous. I think we're supposed to wear pants. Bumblebee hat. So, would you introduce? I know I introduced you, but would you introduce yourself in your voice? Yeah. Okay. No, I'm sorry. He's muted. All right. Go ahead and. Okay, I'm sorry. They were muted. They're not muted anymore. Ugh. I'm just a little nervous. Leave me alone.
Wait, was I muted the whole time?
Yes.
He muted us. He hates us.
I'm so sorry. Normally,
Let me do my meow voice for
I
you.
normally have 10 minutes to set up and to get composure and get everything.
Well, maybe next time you'll be early, won't you? Yeah.
You're
just
early.
like Mom always said.
You're early. Actually, we are early. We started.
2020's taught everybody. Just do what Mom says. Wash your hands. Don't pick your nose.
Wash your hands.
Don't sneeze into your hand. Wash your hands.
Elbows into the elbow.
Be early for podcasts.
But we are early. We started 7 at 6:53.
Oh, it's 7 minutes.
We should start at 7:10. What are you talking about?
I know.
It's true.
I mean,
It's
I'm
true.
happy we didn't start at 7:30.
That's also happened before.
Punctuality is not our strong point.
Where's Goku? It's 6:50. We haven't got the Zoom link.
He's asleep.
Well, when they messaged me, they were like, "Hey, can you do a podcast?" I was like, "I can only be there from 6:53. I can't do 7. It has to be 6:53.
Yep.
Our listeners are already requesting for you to do your voice. So if you could do your introduction in your honest
I don't know what am I supposed to say? Just say something about
just say,
myself.
What
who
you always
are.
say.
In a world where one man had one voice and did thousands of others, but nobody knows any other ones except for the one voice he's known for, the epic voice guy, Jon Bailey.
That's
I'm
awesome,
dying.
dude. I've really enjoyed your work. I really
Typecasting,
love
the
your stuff.
movie.
See, I can't even come nowhere near close to something that cool.
Podcast type.
Now, here's the guy you know because he forgot to wear his brown pants. Good thing he had a brown chair.
Yes. So yes. So thank you everybody that's joining us so far. I know we are super early. We announced 7 o'clock.
It's 7 minutes. How's that super early?
It's super early for us, believe us.
Believe me, trust me, and it's
The
early.
7:10 was not a joke. That was a real starting time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because we run a song in the very beginning. It allows us to share the show on our personal page. We're an up and coming page. We don't have that many followers. I mean, we have 1,000 likes on Facebook, but the actual amount of people that watch the podcast
He had
is
1,000 likes.
I'm just gonna narrate through the whole thing.
Nary. Just if I gave you $100.
If only he had $100.
He doesn't have
I don't have $100. But if I ever run into you at a
Now
con,
he needs
I
to
want you
borrow $100.
somebody send me $100. I will give you $100
His
to
PayPal
narrate
is
me while I eat
His
food.
mother's maiden name. And
oh damn, Keyblade Sonic's like I'm
he
trying
was
to
starting
get
to sweat.
I'm always sweating. It's hot in the fucking room. So
Our fans.
So
It's
tell
hot,
us
it's really
a little.
warm.
I know you only got a few minutes. We're trying to save the questions until you come back.
I have from 6:53.
That's all we could afford.
That's all I had available on my calendar today.
Sign up for our Patreon now to keep Jon Bailey on longer.
Oh,
Well, you've
God.
already brought another guest on. Why do you need me for? You got this
No,
guy.
that's
He looks like he has an epic voice. You get an
Hello.
epically huge microphone, or that's some serious force perspective you got going.
It's right by the camera.
He
It's
just
like
paid me the
Gandalf
$100
and like
to be on
Gandalf
here.
next to Samwise.
Hello. Hi.
Edgar says he'll send us. the
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Oh wait,
Well,
I'm just talking to him.
I'm just gonna start talking like Keyblade Sonic all day now.
One of him's enough. We don't need two.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then I'll be.
So, Edgar says that he'll send me the $100 so I can pay you to narrate while I eat.
One man who didn't know how to use a napkin.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that is me.
The bib, rated PG-13.
Anything with him's got to be rated R. There's no chance it's
There's
any
no
less than
way.
that.
Somebody's. I
If
dared
anything,
myself-
NC-17.
That's right. Someone dared. I dared myself to eat my Chinese food face first.
oh my
Why'd
gosh.
you dare yourself?
Scared yourself. There's just nobody around.
So
It happens
lose.
during
No,
quarantine.
no, there was like
Hey,
there were like 20 people.
I dare me to eat that.
There were like 20 people in our hotel room, and they're like, "Hey, Goku, you don't have any silverware for your food." I don't need silverware. I dare myself to eat this food.
In Russia, silverware eats you.
I'm just over here wiping my face on my sleeve on my cosplay.
Not get any better.
Jeez.
How to ruin a perfectly good cosplay.
One, wear it.
Give it to Goku.
Oh man, yeah, no, that was not one of my proud. Well, no, I've had way worse moments.
It's very low on that high pyramid of things you've done horribly.
I told you,
Right.
I was intoxicated. Leave me alone.
That's every story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I think he had to think about it for a sec. He's like,
I mean,
He
where
forgot if he wasn't.
Is there one
Like,
where
tell
I was
me-
sober? No, there wasn't.
I was about to say, tell me, is there a story where you're sober?
No,
That's a
there
story.
isn't. No, the Chinese food one was I was sober.
He's just real
Oh,
hungry.
great.
I was just hungry.
Hate to see what you eat like when you're not sober. Then
He puts it on his body and absorbs it through his skin like a frog.
He just duct tapes a funnel on,
I just throw what I do is I'm
attached to a
majestic.
blender with his meals.
I just throw the food on the floor and just roll over
Just
it.
human centipedes it.
Oh no.
How you get
So,
past all those calories.
Like the Play-Doh
So-
factory.
So today we are doing an interview with Jon Bailey. So Mr. Jon Bailey, thank you.
When's he gonna get here? Oh, that's me.
Oh.
Oh,
So how long have you been doing the Honest Trailers voice?
Oh, shoot, I don't remember. 6 years, 7 years. I've been a professional voice actor for 12 years. I started doing movie trailers 11 years ago, and Honest Trailers, I think, was 20. It was the end of 2012, I think. So however long, 8 years, I guess.
I remember the first time I saw you. You were, I think it was you. You were doing a video with Nostalgic, not the angry video.
Nostalgia
game.
Critic.
Yeah, Nostalgia Critic. And like Kyle Haver was there, and he leaves, and then you replace him, and he's like, "What the
It's
hell?"
Kyle Hebert.
Haver.
That's my buddy. It's Hebert. He's
Hebert.
French. He does not sound
He's-
French, but
He's
his
Cajun.
name is Kyle Hebert. Yeah, Kyle's a good buddy of mine.
I met him before. I was a great Saiyan man, and I kept trolling him. Good day, voice actor. It is me, Saiyan man. I just kept following him around.
I
Don't
always get
run.
hired. I get hired to be the YouTube Kylie Bear. I get hired so many times. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, why can't you just get Kyle? He'd probably do it himself. He asked me for it.
Because
Sandra Lynch has commented, and I read it in your voice.
In a world where Goku is sober.
No
Doesn't
one
exist.
was safe from sober Goku.
so just
All the worst decisions.
Okay, so but
Oh.
you said you've been so did you start off
His blood content alcohol level was over 9,000.
Damn it, I was trying to be serious. I'm over here trying to be like a serious journalist.
know.
That's not our
Y'all are-
style.
that is not our style. So
Serious.
He's like, buy me another round. Instead of going,
okay,
like,
I definitely gotta know because we always ask our guests this. Whenever you go to a con, do you get creepers?
I no, because I don't think there's any such thing as a creeper. There's there's mental health issues. A lot of the times, there's a lot of people who are either on the spectrum or something else. And having one of my own as one of my own kids, and it's a really rough age, 17. And so I try to not label anybody as that, because you most likely there's a mental health issue there. A lot of people, that's the only place they're comfortable as a convention, because that's the only place they'll find other people like them that are into the same type of stuff they're into, and a lot of them, their own families don't like it, or they're like, you need to grow up and put all that kid stuff away, and it's like that's the only place they can find their people. So it's, as a guest, and I've tried to talk to other guests that didn't have any first on hand relationships with anybody who was autistic, but most of them are really. Tom Kenny's really great with them. Rob Paulson, we're aware, and we try to be kind to everybody and not just assume somebody's being creepy.
Right.
See,
That's
you're okay,
understandable.
Goku.
It's been that bad before, where a guy like Chris Farley'd my hand one time. He's like, "Hey, remember that one time you did that one thing? That was awesome." Like 10 minutes later, he still held my hand, but he was most likely he was on the spectrum and he was just really nervous. So, try to give people a pass.
That's actually a really great answer, because we've had other guests on here. The reason why, because that seems to be a very common question amongst our guests, especially the female cosplay guests that we had, because we have some that are like they get invited to cons all over the country, and they bring up the creeper thing, and the creeper thing seems to be a very popular topic. That's the only reason why I brought it up, and that's usually.
Do I
one
look
of the
like
questions.
somebody that somebody's trying to take an upskirt picture of? No.
Maybe.
So I don't have.
mean,
They have to worry about a whole different type of creeper.
Maybe with 5 shots.
I just
and
get
the
people that are
certain lights.
awkward, and I'm awkward.
If you wore a kilt and you gave me 5 shots, maybe. But what got you into doing like the whole deep voice thing? You just started narrating video.
So let's see. Going all the way back, I started doing impressions first, and that was when I was 4. My mom and I were arguing over who could do a better Grover, and I was a very competitive kid. And she tried to argue that she did a better Yoda, and I was like, that's just Grover with a disability. And then Mr. Roger, anything on PBS, because that's literally all we had. And then later on, it was Saturday morning cartoon, afternoon after school cartoon thing kind of kicked on. I heard Voltron, which Peter Cullen did the narration for, and that got me. I just like, wow, I just want to be that kind of voice one day. Like that voice that makes people go, whoa. I'd never heard anything like that before. And then I heard him again as Optimus Prime in Transformers, and immediately became a Transformers fan. Started getting interested in the voices, but back then they didn't write down who did what. They just put a big fat list of names. We had to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So in my teens, my brother worked for a subsidiary of Google, compiling information, that a lot of which you guys can be grateful for having the information to find voice actor information out there, because he originally put that stuff together back before there was anything. And as we started figuring out who was who, we figured out that, Peter Cullen was Optimus Prime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we ran across Pat Fraley, who's the original voice of Krang from Ninja Turtles. And he had a character thing on tape that we basically just ran it out. We memorized it until it just didn't work anymore. And then from that point, my brother introduced me to Pablo Francisco's stand-up. And he's like, I bet you could do a better version of that than he does. And we saw the Geico commercial with Don LaFontaine in it, which is the impression that Pablo was doing in his little tortilla boy. Except he goes, little tortilla boy. Because his voice is a little bit of a mishmash of different voice actors. But then when I heard Don, her car was totally underwater. And that's when I started really working on specifically the movie trailer voice. But I've been doing Optimus Prime's voice since I was 5.
Because he also, if you did not know, he was a movie trailer voice once as well. Venus de Milo is.
In fact, I bought Lost in Space specifically because I had the trailer on it, which Peter Cullen had narrated. That's the only reason why I bought the DVD.
Imagine
And the only good reason to buy
the
the DVD. Yeah, pretty much.
True.
in a world.
And then my first manager started booking me on trailers. In fact, one of my first auditions was a trailer for Spectrobe's Origins for Disney Interactive. And it was that, in a world voice way back when I first got started. That was 12 years ago. And then when I went from non-union to having a manager, he found me over the internet after Don LaFontaine had passed away, found me on YouTube, video that I made in my car, my cell phone. And then there was another video where I had basically had a pre-nice booth. It was in a bathroom and it was all padded up. And I did like 5 different movie trailer voices all in one trailer. So each one had a different, so it was one trailer with 5 different genres, and each genre had its own trailer voice, because a lot of people don't realize there's more than one big voice guy out there. There's the romantic comedy guy, and there's the Mark Elliott DVD guy. There's just like all these different guys. And I was just trying to make a little fun video, and he found it, looked me up, got me working on trailers, and I had a couple hundred booked. And then the Honest Trailers dudes found me through the same exact video, went to my website, which I had added since the point I'd uploaded that video originally, and went to my website. And it was kind of like a pre-Netflix screen because I just had all these DVD thumbnails of all the trailers I'd done. Most of them you could click and actually watch the trailer on YouTube or whatever. And he's like, wow, it'd be really cool to have like an actual movie trailer voice guy work on our series. And we're looking for a guy. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And the rest as they say. So.
Incredible.
You would please forgive me. I am a little starstruck because, like I said, I am a fan.
Let me wear some glasses. That's too bright.
So, you've worked with a lot of YouTuber. Like, how is that? How when you become a YouTuber? Actually, you know what? Somebody asked me a question I was supposed to ask you. So, if somebody were to just
I don't go by
honestly get-
YouTuber, okay? I go by social media content creator.
It's the same voice I use when I read fan fiction.
But his is better.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't
His
asked.
is-
You have to add a little bit of the vocal fry to make it good.
Damn it.
His costs a lot more too. Goku does it for free.
Wait, what do I do for free? Stop telling people I do stuff for free. That's how I get strangers knocking on my door.
He had strangers knocking on his door, asking to do things for free. And he didn't have on pants.
Are you supposed to wear pants when you enter the door?
I use a grocery bag. Pull that up.
That's an option?
Dude, that's a great idea.
Everything's-
When you have to use the bathroom and you can't get to one, just freaking knock some leg holes in a plastic bag, dude.
There you go.
That's probably where the term sack of crap came from.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. There are a lot of people that want to be voice actors. Real quick, they want to know what advice could you give them when it comes to trying to become.
Don't do it, ever.
Fight the competition.
Don't quit your day job because it's a nightmare.
It's really hard. I mean, it's taken me this long. It took me 8 years to book something animated, that wasn't something YouTube. It took me 10 years to book, a movie. So it takes a really long time to really get. I mean, you can work a lot on and not really work on anything. If I took all of my work and combined it together, it probably wouldn't take up very much space time wise, but it's spread out over a whole bunch of different stuff. And that's one thing about this job is you have to freaking grind. You can't just sit on your hands and wait for somebody to come to you with a job. You got to freaking get out there and hustle. And while you're in the middle of doing that, you have to create a brand for yourself because these days, if you're not a public figure of some kind, if you don't have some kind of social media following, it's going to cut your value in half as a voice actor because they want to see you perform to the point where you already have a following because then you can get on like, oh guys, listen to me in this thing that I'm working on, and 15,000 people go, oh cool. It's free publicity for them. So who do you think they're going to hire? There's somebody who has no social media presence or somebody who has a really good social media presence. Somebody who's got 250,000 followers on TikTok, somebody who thinks the clock goes TikTok. Yeah.
We have 2 questions for you in the comment section.
I can only answer one because I don't feel like. I'm just kidding.
Zarek says, "Holy Lord, is that the Honest Trailers guy?"
That doesn't count as an actual
That's
question.
an easy question to answer. Yes.
Yes.
But I prefer not to be called the Honest Trailers guy since that's not the only job I do. I'm Epic Voice Guy, bro. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I call you Mr. Bailey.
is that how you do? What's that? Go web, go. Is that it?
Spider.
No, the web one. Dandelion
Spider-Man.
says, "Which do you think is harder, voice acting or singing?"
Well, I will say singing in character is extremely difficult. Unless you're really good at it, singing as that character is probably one of the hardest things I've tried to do.
Have you done that before?
I have tried.
I was gonna say I haven't.
I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to talk about it, but I worked on a very popular Disney computer animated show about a certain female superhero that's been dubbed from French into English. And I filled in for a singing voice by sending in my demo of me singing different things and different characters' voices. But then I got there without having the song, and the pitch was too high for what I could do in his voice. You know what I mean? Like I could do it, but I could only do it I couldn't do it in his voice. It's a really tough thing to do. But yeah, voice acting, like once you just get past, I heard somebody on social media recently talk about how to get over fear and anxiety. It's like a lot of people try to ram through it, or they try to go around it, or they stay away from it because it's too scary. Your goal's on the other side, and all you have to do is just walk through it. And I've literally been walking through it my whole life, like terrified I couldn't do it and to get in there and nail it and be like, why was I worried? To the point of like when I go in, I'm just gonna do what the job I'm supposed to do and leave. It's like,
Right.
what's the point of getting nervous? You know, you can do it. Because it's like Harry Potter. I could do the Expecto Patronus because I knew I already did it. You know, I don't know. It almost makes sense. It's because you've done it before. You have to get in your head. Like once you've auditioned for a job and they booked you and you're going to the studio to do it, other than animation, you've got the job. So what else is to worry about? You got over the hard part. The hard part's getting it. They already know you could do it because they listened to your audition or they wouldn't have hired you. So what need is there to further worry? With animation, it's different. You could have the job. You could record the job. You can record a whole bunch of episodes of the job and never be in the show because they recast you or we decided to go with all TV actors this time, so you just never know.
I think that's you brought up the anxiety thing, and I can actually a lot of people don't know this because I'm very, very out there. I'm very outgoing, especially when it comes to cons and panels. The very first time I was in front of an audience, it was Anime Matsuri. It was Dancing Thrillers Naruto, and you had to audition for the competition, and they had to select you. So I got selected. There's like 700 people out in the audience. Never been in front of a crowd, much less that number. I'm literally shaking to the point where they almost had to call 911. But I went on stage and did it ever since then. Got a podcast now.
I think the first time I performed in front of a lot of people, I was, like 3 years old. I was doing on stage stuff in school and church ever since that point. Like for me, it was pretending. It still is.
As the great Ian McKellen once said, acting is just pretending to be another person. When I say, "You shall not pass," I'm not actually Gandalf the Grey. I'm pretending to be Gandalf the Grey.
It really is. It's just a freaking sandbox to play in. And when you're in your head and you're playing, you don't even notice the audience is even there. When you actually focus on the audience, it's kind of like when Jesus told Peter to walk in the water, and as long as he kept his eyes on Jesus, he was fine. As soon as he looked at the water, he's once you start looking at the audience and focusing on them, it's all over with. But when you visualize what you're doing, I mean, I thought every time I come into this problem, I thought I wouldn't be able to handle a huge panel, like being a voice actor up next to Phil Lamar and Jim Meskimen and Kari Wahlgren and Kimberly Brooks and, all these huge voice actors, in my opinion, and thought I was going to be terrified. Thought I was going to have, the terrified shaking hands. I had that when I was a kid, a piano recital, leg bounced so hard you could hear it banging on the pedal underneath the piano. So I've been in front of those nerves, but improv classes, doing stand-up comedy, I don't even have a set, guys. I'm supposed to do stand-up tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at Flappers, which you can find linked on my Instagram and Twitter for only $15 a ticket. Come throw digital tomatoes at me with your emojis if you want to. I've never done an hour set before, and I'm just like, whatever happens, happens, man. I'm just gonna do what I'm doing now.
What is your Instagram or the Twitter
Everything
handle?
is Epic Voice Guy.
Literally everything. I'm so proud that I have Epic Voice Guy on all platforms, no exceptions. I had a couple of issues. YouTube had me at bay for a long time, and finally, that old account from 1 billion years ago, they finally deleted it. Nobody's been using it, so I actually have Epic Voice Guy on YouTube. I have Epic Voice Guy on TikTok. Finally, I had the Epic Voice Guy, which confused a lot of people. So I switched to Epic Voice Guy Official because I kept getting the Pick Voice Guy. Like, does the mother know that wears her drapes? Like, who says the anymore? The Epic, not the Pick. What? So, and then finally, my original, because I had Epic Voice Guy on TikTok, and I lost it. I got it at VidCon a long time ago, couldn't sign back in. And then eventually, I guess they released it. So now I'm across the board, the same thing on all of the things. Epic Voice Guy, and my OCD is so appeased right now. If you type in Epic Voice Guy, you're gonna find me. Yeah, it's not that hard.
What city is your show in?
Well, it's online, so you don't have to be there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anybody can join.
Oh,
Come
I'm
throw
definitely gonna show
throw
up now.
tomato emojis at me if you feel like it. I don't really care.
And I'm totally gonna just comment in Spanish and just throw people out. Okay.
Okay, well, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to keep an eye on the clock. How much time do you have?
Minus 10 minutes.
They'll let me know.
Okay, yeah. So we'll explain later once.
Once that meter's out.
But people, what is your favorite voice to do? That is one of the questions we're being asked. What is your favorite voice?
My favorite voice has always been Optimus Prime's. But second has gotten very, very close lately. Doing Ryan Reynolds' voice has become a lot of fun to do for me because it's just I've gotten so comfortable with the character that I can just slip in and out all day long. That's what she said. And judging by the look on Rachel's face, she's glad she wore her yellow pants today. What? It matches her hat. Why? What? She wears that, and I can't say anything about it. I can't make a horny joke. No, nothing. Sorry, I just go there when I get in Ryan's voice. I can't help myself.
Used our one horny joke. Can't use any more.
I didn't even know that was a horny joke until you said it was a horny joke.
Oh, look, there's Optimus Prime rib.
It's Optimus Prime rib.
Oh,
By the way, I had a brilliant idea for a follow up that I messaged Annoying Orange. It's like, dude, we need to do a follow up. Bumble beef.
Oh,
We already got Optimus Prime rib. Why not?
all the culinary confections.
Exactly. Laser beef.
if,
I mean, we got.
Dang it, Jason.
so I have a question for you. How much? I guess we can talk about this after the podcast. How much would you charge us? Like, we're gonna do this thing called Dino Rumble,
Okay.
where we put on inflatable mascot costumes and just beat the crap out of each other with like chairs and trash cans. Kinda
Okay.
like WWE and UFC.
So like Stomp meets WWE.
Yeah.
Stomp without the music.
And we're gonna
Yeah,
have,
Stomp
like,
what-
we're gonna make it like a real.
Stomp's never been music, y'all.
So, like, we
It's
can
just
get
noise
you
for
to,
trash
like,
cans.
Do like announcer narrations, you know, like the Ready to Rumble guy.
Okay,
Like Michael
gotta go.
Buffer.
Alrighty.
Oh.
Sorry, guys, your time is up.
Aw, dang.
Sorry, they can only book me for 25 minutes. Bye
This is
bye.
true. This is true.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
So
We
Oh my God!
he's
still
coming
get to
back.
see his thing. Surprise.
Yeah.
Look at his setup;
Maybe.
it's really nice.
Yeah, that's it's a
Professional.
studios. It's like an actual like the ones in the studios.
He is
I like
gonna
the
come
I
back.
like the
He'll
color
be
scheme.
back in an hour.
Yeah, just give it time, guys. So stay
Yeah.
tuned.
He'll be
He
back
has
in
a
the
real
second
life.
hour.
He has a real life with
Blastoids,
family.
The reason why I didn't acknowledge your question because your question was, has voice acting helped you get numbers and DMs or even get laid? He's married.
With kids.
So he's taken. You can't have him.
That's right, Blastoids.
And I don't think it's kind of wise to be asking that. It's kind of awkward. Be asking
Yeah.
him that.
I'm curious to yeah, that's a good question. Has he ever messed with people with his voices?
That'd be fun.
Oh, these are all questions we need to write down.
Well, write it down.
Bring up one.
Come on,
note.
Jace, you're the.
I got it. I
He,
got it.
well, no, he did mess with me one time with his voice. I mean, I knew who he was because by this time we were kind of like pretty decent con friends. So it was 2012 at BotCon. It's a Transformers convention that used to be on, but it's coming back. More on that later. But he actually did a thing. He had a puppet Ravage, and he was doing his own thing of Ravage the Insult Comic Con, and it was hilarious. He was just going up to everybody. Who was he talking to? Who was there that week? No. Oh, Gary Chalk. He was doing this to like Gary Chalk. He was doing this to a couple of cosplayer girls, me included. He was just like going up to a bunch of people just with this little Ravage hand puppet, sounding just like Triumph. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
I think we have a very important question that we need to ask here.
Yo,
What's with the hat?
is my Bumblebee hat?
Because he was in the Bumblebee.
Bumblebee
movie.
movie. He was Soundwave and Shockwave in the Bumblebee movie.
You look like a devil pineapple.
That's what this is what Bumblebee's head looked like back in G1. He
Yeah,
had the
because it
little
gave him.
ones.
horns.
It's
Y'all
Bumblebee
can
head.
thank Raph for helping us get him. Like, we didn't have a guest today.
Major
Not
shout out to
helping.
her.
You can thank Raph for getting the
Yeah,
guest.
pretty much.
Let's all
We did
put
nothing.
let's all put clap emojis in the chat,
Right,
please.
clap, clap, everybody clap.
Legit asked him like not even 24 hours ago, like, hey, we have a podcast. Do you want to do this?
Look, I don't want to.
And he's like, sure. And I was like, what?
I
Okay.
don't want to throw any shade anyone's way or anything, so I apologize. Don't take this personally if you're listening to this or anything. But I am so glad we got you. Like, if Saki Kitty hadn't left, we wouldn't have been able to make you full time.
I mean, yeah, no disrespect to Saki Kitty, she's awesome, but yeah, I mean,
I give you
well,
3
no, this
claps.
is what happens.
I normally only
Aw.
give 2.
Jace will clap them cheeks for you.
But yeah, no, like, you know, this is just what happens when you. This is just what it does. It's networking. I'm not bragging. I
Right,
love
it's
talking.
okay.
Right.
I love
okay.
talking to
No worries, no
people.
worries.
So I know I've gotten to be, especially because of BotCon. BotCon was the first convention I ever got into, and so it's my favorite convention. Until it closed down in 2016, I didn't miss a single BotCon since I started in 2009, except for 2015, and it's a good thing because apparently people were getting pneumonia. It's a long story, but I've just gotten to meet so many really cool actors, and especially, of course, Transformers voice actors, and anyone from the 80s. There, I've gotten to meet Peter Cullen multiple times. I've gotten to meet like Weird Al Yankovic and Tyrese Gibson, and who else? Oh my God, Samantha Newark from Gem of the Holograms. Just so many people. I've seen Michael Bay a couple of times. Take that however you want to take it, but I've just met and seen so many people, and I'm just like, hi, nice to meet you. And I'm being like fangirly, but not.
She runs over there. Sign my boobs.
No, I don't. No, keep it classy, not trashy. But yeah, I'm just like, wow, this is really
Wait.
awesome. And da 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 da.
Did
Hey,
you just call me trashy?
I said.
Did you have someone sign your
specifically.
boobs?
I've
Huh?
signed
signed your-
boobs.
Who signed your boobs?
No one,
No
but
one
I've
ever-
signed boobs.
I was gonna say, no one's ever signed me.
Dude, I signed my first pair of boobs once.
David K did sign somebody's baby one time. That was hilarious.
Okay, he's not
God,
Ricky
yeah.
Bobby.
It was
I want to
great.
play
It
Ninja
was
Turtles
great.
every time I see Goku's background. I have signed my first pair of boobs. It was at AllCon in 2017 or 18. So it was I don't know. It was one of those 2 years. So they had convinced one of my fucking friends had convinced everyone at the con I was Maui.
You should have done
You
that.
kinda
Maui.
look
So there's
like
this
him.
little 6-year-old
Should have
Why he
embraced it.
won't-
dressed as
That's why he
cosplaying
won't
as
cosplay
Elsa.
him.
There's this little 6-year-old. It's a 6-year-old boy dressed cosplaying as Elsa, and he starts calling me Maui. I'm like, son of a bitch, it's over. I'm Maui.
Yeah, but mean
So
the
there
kids.
was this one drunk girl, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're Maui." Who the fuck told you I was Maui?
that little 6-year-old.
I don't know
You
how
did
the
not say
conversation
that
went,
to
but
that
I was also
child.
drunk.
You did not say that to that child.
No, I'm
No,
talking
it
about
was
the
a
girl
drunk
now.
woman.
Oh, okay.
Drunk woman.
No, I said after the little kid called me Maui, I said, "Fuck, it's over. I'm Maui."
Oh, okay. All right.
So when I ran into the girl later on, she's like, she made me sign her boobs.
Oh.
I autographed her boobs, Maui. I
Signed
wrote, "You're
as-
welcome."
Dwayne Johnson.
On a side note, you sound better. Yeah, no, I apologize because I had her turned down because of the death battle thing earlier.
Right. That I was about to ask you is like why
We
we
have
were sounding a
topics.
little different.
We had topics to talk about. One of the topics that we're going to talk about until our
Was the
guest can come
reaction.
back from eating dinner. I wonder what he's eating.
We'll ask him.
Well,
And he has to do it in the voice.
yeah.
Chinese food with no utensils.
Leave me alone. We actually got our first strike on YouTube today because of death battle.
Yes.
And what, like, explain that. I don't understand.
I
Copyright
think
strike.
it's because I live stream their video. I don't know.
I
Okay.
think it's because like there have been other people who react to death battles, but they do it pre-recorded. They actually show it and then they edit it. They like make the death battle like smaller, and
They
would
edit
post
out
it,
like a
the-
chunk of it.
Not really. It's more like they show that they actually show almost the whole thing, and then what they would do is they would record the reaction, and then they would grab the footage and then just edit, make the death battle smaller, and then they would just show the footage. That's usually what they would do. They would do it pre-recorded. Sometimes live stream.
Okay.
That usually would happen. You could get a strike for that.
Yeah, no, I did get a
Probably
strike
don't do
today.
it on YouTube then.
Facebook doesn't give a shit. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody because our YouTube live reaction has gotten almost 100 views. Now, most people are like,
Yay.
that's not a big number. That's a small number. But we're a small podcast.
So that's a big deal.
So it is a big deal. And our podcast from Friday has done 300 views, and it's reached out to 1,000 people. That is our
Yay.
first big podcast viewing
Yeah.
since Saki Kitty left. Damn.
I didn't say it.
Well, you know, Saki Kitty has a personal life, and Saki Kitty has a job, and Saki Kitty's a kitty, so she's got to like.
Yeah.
8-hour baths. You got 13-hour
Time
naps.
Monday for Saki Kitty.
There you go.
Everybody,
Sidebar, thanks to the one commenter for the clap. I already forgot your name, but thanks for the clap.
clap them
Thanks.
cheeks.
Thank you, Mitchell.
Clap them
Major
cheeks.
Shout out to Mitchell.
I clap cheeks.
Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt cheeks. Booty butt, booty
No.
butt, booty butt cheeks.
Uh,
That's an actual song from the Boondocks.
I understand. No.
So
Do we cover a topic now?
Yes.
Yeah, we are. We're talking about death battle. So for those of you that didn't see, no, we're talking about the death battle and the strike because we got our first strike on YouTube. So from this point forward, so we are going to still do the death battle thing, but it's going to be pre-recorded for YouTube, but on Facebook it will be live until we get in trouble.
Ban someone else's account.
Right. And we're also trying to work on getting more guests as well. Jon Bailey being on here, not only was it very, very last minute, it was very unexpected.
Yeah. Legit, literally. It was like, hey, we're doing a thing. Do you want to be on it? And he's like, sure. And I was like, wait, what? Oh, crap. Guys, this is happening.
So you were talking about having a voice actor friend on. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. All right, who is it?
got a
I
couple.
messaged you, and it was like,
Yeah.
sounds
Like, I'm not
familiar.
joking. I actually know. Yeah, like, I mean, like, well,
Oh,
Goku
God.
knows Johnny. So it's like, yeah, did you guys think I didn't know someone like almost
Yeah, but
as
Johnny's
good as
busy
Johnny?
doing Power Ranger shit.
True.
Like,
But
you
he
asked
didn't-
them, and then they immediately responded. It's like, holy shit, that was
Yeah, because I think he's in the White Dragon movie, the one for Bat in the Sun.
Yes.
And like he won't like he's really busy right now, especially with JDF. JDF's always
No, absolutely. Yeah,
all
absolutely,
over the.
absolutely.
We're gonna see if we can get an interview with JDF.
That'll be-
What are some guests that y'all would like for us to have on the show? Like, I would really like to know who y'all would like for us to bring in. Because there are a few that we would like to. We're gonna definitely try to bring in foreign cosplayers, like from, Germany or Ireland or all these other fancy countries. What?
Just two random
Fancy
countries.
No, I'm dead serious. That's the people that I'm talking to are from Germany
Oh, sweet.
and Ireland. And
Like Kamui cosplay?
they are cosplayers, but they're just from other countries.
Okay.
Like, because I want to know how cons and cosplays like in England.
Well, no. Kamui cosplay is. I'm sure I'm butchering her name, and I apologize.
All right. She's
No,
from.
Yeah, she's
she's
from
from
Germany.
Yeah, she's like pretty really well known. Like,
Yeah.
I went to
She does all
Mike,
the videos. Like, here's how I did this, and I have one of her books and stuff.
Buy my books.
and also at Michael's, they have these displays of like certain like cosplay parts,
Yeah.
and like she's like featured in it.
Yep.
You know who we should get on the podcast?
Who?
Who probably nobody will know? We should get Paul Wall. That
You
rapper.
blinked. What'd you say?
Wait, what'd you say? Yeah,
Paul
you
Wall.
just blinked.
Let's get Paul
Paul
Wall.
Okay.
You know who
he's
Paul
into
Wall
it.
is?
Sounds
Yeah.
like a type of cigarette.
I know a guy
rapper.
named Paul Wall, but I
He's a
don't think it's the
rapper
same
in
guy.
Houston that was really popular like 10 years ago, and he
Oh.
does a lot of charities. Damn it.
Get
Nobody knows who he is. Let's get Mike Jones then. Who? Mike Jones. Masha
There's a
Cosplay. Does anybody know who that is?
No.
No, but if it's from him, I'm gonna guess it's a
Damn.
female cosplayer.
They're female cosplayers out of our league. Damn, that's everybody actually.
Yeah, I just looked her up. She's a lot of good stuff.
Did
Hey,
you
we
just
can ask
agree with me?
I didn't agree with
We
that.
could probably get her. Have confidence, guys. Y'all can do it.
No, I don't have confidence.
Damn, we don't need it.
Mike
Marito.
Jones is in jail. So we had topics.
So he's free.
No, we had 3 topics for today. We're going to talk about school, parents forcing schools to reopen. Fuck that subject. I don't want to talk about that. We had
Okay.
another subject we agreed to drop and talk about on another day, so we can't bring it up right now. You guys should totally work to get Matt Mercer. Who's Matt Mercer?
Ooh.
Oh, you don't know? Oh my God, Matt Mercer. He's
He's the voice of Joseph Joestar. He's the voice of Tiger from the new Thundercats that came out in
Yeah,
between the new
Joe
old one.
Taro.
Joe
He
Taro.
voices Jotaro. He voices McCree in Overwatch. Crom in Fire Emblem. He does like a lot of notable voiceover. He's actually doing like a D&D series called Critical Role.
Can't tell Goku that. He won't try to get him on.
You lost me. I was just thinking, What are the chances that I
Okay,
can go and stop?
I'm gonna reel you in on it. Hit from Dragon Ball Super.
Hey,
There you go. See, that's how it works.
We're making it happen. I was just thinking, if I go to the Undertaker's house right now, will he kick my ass?
So are you really 2.5 hours to Austin to do that?
You get his ass kicked by the Undertaker? Yes, he would.
But will he be on the podcast?
Oh,
sure. If you want to try, that'd be sweet.
I like how nobody has any confidence in me. Like, you're gonna die.
I believe in you until you don't believe in yourself. How about that?
So you don't believe in him.
Shut up.
That was horse shit. What elementary school participation trophy bullshit was that?
And he voices Levi in Attack on Titan. That's right.
Nice. Let's get some voice actors on here. Hey man, I'll give you $30 to be on my podcast for 45 minutes. But no, there's some. I want to get Kyle Haber.
Yeah.
There was another one who I was harassing earlier. What was the guy's name? The one that I sent you a screenshot of?
Oh, Chris Ranger.
Chris Ranger is the voice of Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. I thought you were just like having
I was
stroke
like,
on your keyboard again.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what?
No, I started adding celebrities like voice actors on Facebook.
I'm down for that. We can try it. Like I said, I got pretty friendly.
Doing it.
Like not that friendly, but I've gotten pretty friendly with some of the former Transformers voice actors. Like legit, it's been a few years, and they can still point me out on site if I ever do show up at a convention. They're like, "Hey," it's like, "Hey,
it's that girl that made me sign her butt."
No butt signing.
Oh,
I'm just
no butt stuff.
No butt stuff.
No bad stuff.
Hashtag no butt stuff.
Hashtag F in the chat. F in the chat.
Clean fangirl. Clean and innocent fangirl.
We do all the dirty talk. All the dirty talk comes off when the guest isn't here.
Okay, so there is a chance for us to talk about next year's plans as well. We are throwing. We said we weren't going to do it anymore, but
holy shit, he's
back!
Oh crap! What the hell?
He just came to get his phone. Don't worry.
You guys still here?
Yes.
Yes. Hello.
Welcome back. I thought I left a long time ago.
Only some of us have lives.
That would be you.
I was just in there, cleaning up the mess from all the dismembered bodies. I mean, having dinner with my family.
Black was a good choice. Doesn't show all the blood.
That's right. That's why I wear the red pants.
What did you have for dinner?
That was a question.
Mostly tibia, I think, or fibia. I'm not sure which part. Whatever that calf muscle is in the leg.
Upper thigh.
Oh, a gastrocnemius?
My corn. Yeah.
So it's corn.
Meat is corn meat.
Corn meat. Human corn meat.
What, man? I should have. I should have told you the rule about using big
Human
words. I
feet.
barely speak
It's
English
what's for dinner.
You don't know how to say gastrocnemius?
What the hell?
He's Stroganoff?
That's the calf muscle.
Why can't you just say calf muscle?
I thought that was an actor. Andrew Goffini. Isn't that the guy from Sopranos?
I heard Stroganoff. I automatically thought of the guy that killed Apollo Creed in like the third Rocky movie. Was it
Ivan Drago?
Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago. Yeah, I was about to say Ivan Drago.
You ate him?
You ate a Russian. Good job.
I have the power.
Oh God! God, he was He-Man.
That's right, he was.
So we were.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That's like my favorite memory was 2013 BotCon when they were doing the whole fan film extravaganza thing, and what was it? You put in a video, of course, just for like exhibition, and the staff was like, so now we have an exhibition video, and I was like, woo, exhibition, because that's just me, and yeah, you did all those voices except for She-Ra, right, on your video?
Mm-hmm. That was my friend Mandy.
Right.
She-Ra.
Wait, realistic Mandy?
She-Ra is the.
Realistic vids. That was Mandy. Yeah.
I miss her. I haven't seen her in so long.
She lives in in LA too. She's not too far from here.
Well, I'm in Texas, remember? I can't see you guys.
I'm just saying we live not too far from each other. We see each other.
Oh, that's right.
Every now and then.
Was she at TFCon? I don't remember running into her.
Last time we hung out was Comic-Con San Diego Comic-Con last year.
Okay. Sorry, like I said, whole nother world. We know each other.
No, you're absolutely fine. This is
a very
podcast
long time ago.
I actually had a question.
There is a question that the chat did: is have you used your voice to mess with people?
Yes.
I think it's more like if I not use my voice to
No!
not mess with people. All right. I don't know. I mess with people all the time. All right, I'm the best. All right, everyone knows this.
God.
Okay. All right.
Holy
I
crap!
don't mean to brag, but everybody knows this. All right. I'm the best.
Best words.
I'm over here.
Yes.
I hear that. I'm over
I'm
here
the
looking
biggest of
around
all the
for him.
messers.
Uh-huh.
You think Donald Trump's coming for you?
That's what I thought. You gotta
that's
understand,
fine.
you gotta understand that I have an uncle that this guy might as well be a Batman villain. He's always calling him the Trump. I have
Make
to.
America go again.
I gotta protect myself from the Trump. I gotta get me a gun to protect myself from the Trump because he's coming for me. And I'm like, Theo, he's not a Batman villain.
You know how I get these scars, people? Do you?
Oh God.
Trump Joker.
The Trump.
I got some kryptonite, Superman. All right. You're not such a big deal now, are you, big green boy? I'm Lex Luthor.
God, you are too good. I can feel my brain melting out of my ears.
Oh my god.
Her brain was melting out of her ears. If only she had a sponge.
There's one. So one of the questions a lot of people get asked, especially people that do voices.
Is what?
One of the questions that people always constantly get asked,
I got somebody.
especially voice.
I got her.
Damn it!
Projectile right out the nose.
Not yet.
Gross.
No, I stopped myself.
It's so close.
So close.
So when
That is the question I get the most. Though. It's just what?
Oh crap! I think I got kicked off YouTube.
What?
I'm dead serious. I think I got kicked off YouTube.
Aww.
For what?
Oh, I did a
Time
live.
limit.
I did a live stream reaction to Death Battle this morning, and they gave me a strike.
So now you're kicked out just because of the strike?
I don't
You
know.
haven't done anything yet.
We're still live on Twitch and Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're on 3 platforms: YouTube,
Well,
Twitch,
you were.
and Facebook. Yeah, we were.
Not anymore.
He was on 3 platforms. Now there's only 2.
So when people were asking Johnny Youngbosh, and I want to get you already kind of shed some light
Oh
on
yeah,
this.
JYB. Yeah, he's cool.
He's really cool. Oh my god!
I call him Jib. JYB.
He got drunk with we were at a small con, and it was called Kamikaze Con in Houston, and him and his band Ice Shine decided to come to my hotel room to drink. And Johnny had stuff
really
to
good
do.
at that.
Johnny had stuff to do, and they're like, "Okay,
They
Goku,
drink and they sing things.
you're in charge of Johnny. Make sure he doesn't do anything dumb. He's got to do some voice acting stuff in the morning." Gotcha. I leave for 30 minutes, and I come back, and he looks like he's dead on my couch.
Oh shit! I killed him.
I was like, "Oh no, Johnny, wake up, Johnny,
Bring you back to life.
Johnny, what? Oh my god, thank God, Johnny, are you okay?" And then his response is golden. His response is, I'm a Power Ranger." Yes, Johnny, I'm a Power Ranger.
Yeah, you're a Power Ranger. Your mom's a Power Ranger.
Well, he's alive. The band leaves to go mess with
Hey
the
guys,
piano.
let me take out my pants and show my Zordon. Woo! Go straight to the quad. Let's go. Johnny Young Buck naked. What?
I've met so they asked Johnny like
Well, this is about me. I don't know why.
they wanted to be no I'm just
Hey,
I just
you're
wanted to get
right.
a statement I guess.
What the hell?
I'm just
They
messing.
asked
God,
him, so
such a prima donna.
they were asking him about becoming a voice actor, and he said that you just become an actor first and then eventually
realize
That's not
no
how it
one will
works at all.
hire you.
That's a lie. Those are all lies.
what is your take on
The,
that?
the honest truth is there's a lot of different ways to get there. There's so many freaking different paths. Some people get in. Kyle Bear got in through radio for Disney radio. Some people get in through local television stations. They need to get. Don LaFontaine was a producer, and the guy to do the voiceover called in sick, and Don's like, "I'll do it."
There you go.
and he created
In a world and one man.
and all the other stuff that became like the movie trailer voice. So nobody ever really knows. Everybody falls into it different. I got in through a local non-union studio. I don't really know what else to call it. It had a few locations kind of spread out throughout the country. It's a Braille Institute now. It's not even there anymore. But in Memphis, I mean, that's normal for Memphis. It's Memphis. But voiceover, that's not really a thing. You know, I had tried some pay-to-play sites. That's what most people do. That's my number one recommendations. Although I don't think you should have to pay to play, but you're paying for the subscription to the company to get you the auditions. Your agent would take 10%, and your manager would take 10%. So if you pay $40 a month for auditions to be able to be sent to you, you're paying the fee for them to be able to deliver that to you. They have to make money somehow. So, but yeah, I agree that no voice actor should stay in that long. If they're good enough, get an agent, do it the normal way. But yeah, there's some predatory sites they're just like stay away from. But the easiest way is just go to D. Bradley Baker's website. He already did all the work for you guys. It's called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. I mean, can I get any easier than that? Just go to the website, read it. Stop asking me. I'm just going to tell you that website.
But they want you to tell them.
I think Steve Bloom's doing something like that too. I'm following him on Instagram.
Yeah, there's a lot of people
doing something like that too.
Yeah, Bloomvox Studio.
Yeah.
So they'll stop asking the question, probably.
But yeah, no, it boils down to determination and just never, ever freaking quitting, because it's so hard sometimes. There'll be so many times that you're doubting yourself, or you'll go a really long time without a job and you're like, am I even in this? Like, maybe this was just a fluke, whatever. So yeah, the job does this all month, all year, every day. I mean, you're constantly redoing demos, you're updating websites, things change. I mean, honestly, if I hadn't had this booth already, I would not have been prepared for lockdown. A lot of voice actors weren't ready for that. A lot of voice actors didn't have the kind of money to do this kind of studio. And I happen to have a friend who had a booth that was too big for his place when he moved. So because of 2 inches of height on this booth, I got it instead. And he worked out payment plan with me, so it made it a little easier on me, because these things are not cheap. But if you don't have the technology we have the technology. I mean, if you don't have it, you're not going to be ready for this kind of thing. So there's a lot of different factors involved. But anybody could do this with a few $100 to start, if they could just make themselves a quiet little space to record. But Johnny Young Bosch is right. Acting is the most important part of it, because if you're not a good actor, you're not going to get hired for any voice acting gigs, because the main part of voice acting is the acting part. A lot of people have come to me, or I've heard this story from other people. Hey, I have a great voice, and I've always been told I should be a voice actor. And then I'm like, yeah, but can you act? That's the first thing that you're not. Now, there are people who aren't actors that do narration and stuff, but there's a very big business. There might be a place for you after all. So don't give up just because you're not ready for cartoons, because you sound like a movie trailer guy, or because you sound like an old school radio man. You know, you may have there may be something else out there for you.
It's also sometimes just luck of the draw, right? Because
right place, right time kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, like David Kay and I think Tara Strong and some of the others, they would say like, yeah, I was just like in public and someone's like, hey, you have a voice for like this. Will you
Everybody
come here
gets there different.
And
That's
there you
true
go.
Story. Some people recorded their demos in the freaking mall back in the 80s. So yeah, I mean, it just depends. Everybody gets there a different way, but you have to be able to believe in yourself, or at least fake believing in yourself enough to look like you're confident enough to do the job. But if you don't have any acting chops, you're not going to get too far. Most jobs require at least some acting, but it's all performance based. So if you're any good, if you read really, you need public speaking really helps. Improv classes really help. Stand-up comedy, just get yourself out there, get over the anxiety and fear of being in front of people. And then when you're in a box like this one, it's not going to bother you all if a guy doesn't wear pants while he sits in front of his Coke.
Sonic, you're not wearing pants, right?
He's now.
That was the memo.
He had to look.
He's
He
now.
had to look to make sure.
He's
I
like-
don't know.
Okay, as long as you got the memo, we're good. Don't stand
I
up
don't know
too
who's
quickly.
above me, but I don't want to get peed on.
So when it comes to acting, voice acting, or anything in general, just like I get asked a lot of questions about podcasting, and people don't realize that there's a lot of work. It's constant. Like it could.
Yeah, you gotta sit down. You gotta use your finger and push the power button on. I'm like, oh, jeez. Then you gotta talk with your mouth. You have to wear headphones in a room. I mean,
it's got to be
awful.
quiet.
They don't even realize.
Hey, wait, whoa, there's a lot more to it than that. This Ninja Turtle arcade cabinet didn't build itself.
These shelves weren't built in a day.
These Goku figurines didn't order themselves on Amazon. I had to make sure I had money and then swipe.
Oh, I got a finger crab. Mouse movements.
No pain, no gain.
He's like 199. 100.
But like, you know, have there been times where you felt like, man, am I really gonna make it, or am I
absolutely
kidding myself?
I don't think any actor has not gone through that at some point where it's just like, this is too much, it's too overwhelming. When I first got into it, I had a full-time job at night, and I auditioned during the day, and I would, go to my normal routine. I think I went to work at like 3:30 or 3 in the afternoon. I didn't get home till well after midnight. And then that first economic bubble burst with the whole housing market crash, and that was it. My company was one of the ones that got hit. They filed bankruptcy. I went on unemployment, and my wife was like, "Well, why don't we just try the auditions all day long, every day, just see what happens?" And I'm like, "All right." And it was like 2 months before my first manager found me on YouTube, and then it was like, "Hey, why don't you try this stuff?" And then all of a sudden, the checks went from this to like this. And then the jobs went from like this many to this many. And in 1 year's time, I tripled what I had made at my previous job. So it just, that was a scary place, man. I was like, for that first year, it was pretty rough. For the first like 6 months, it was pretty slow. And I was fixing computers on the side to make extra. I was painting houses. I was living from check advance and title cash out, like cash loans, like just getting by every month. Government cheese, the whole works, man. It's whatever we could do for that first like 6 to 9 months, and then things started kind of hitting. But it still took 12 years to get to this point where it's like I don't have to freak out over, and that still happens. I mean, it'll still happen no matter how much jobs you do and how big the rates are for them. It'll still happen where this thing happened and now your bank account's gone and you have this huge rent coming because you live in Los Angeles. And it's just, it's just something every actor has to go through if they really want to pursue this. There's a lot of people who are smarter than I am that just don't quit their job and do it part-time, and they make a decent living on top of what they're doing on their full-time job. And then there's a few people that finally transition to doing it full-time, but that's a tough jump. I took a leap of faith. I didn't really have much of a choice. I was unemployed and had nothing else to fall back on, and I was out putting out resumes and filling out employment, like for months. It was like, it's terrifying, dude. Like you don't have a safety net.
We have a guest in the comment section. It's an up and coming rapper known as Deacon Rap. He says, "Bruh." I love the way he says boobs.
Oh, well, I didn't write that. That's the way it was written for me. It's WBS, not BOOBS. That was very specifically an Honest Trailer thing, was to say boobs. But then things happened, and then it became 2019, and they just kind of stopped. We still do some balls every once in a while, and some abs.
So you touched,
not in this room though, probably.
You had touched the, like, you talked about this year and how it's hit a lot of people. Can you give us some insight on that? Because I know because you have that, you're doing a little bit better than some other people. But how do you think the industry as a whole is?
Honestly, that's not because I still have the Honest Trailer job. That doesn't mean that I'm just like working like crazy. I'm working like crazy outside of that, and I'm thankful for that. But honestly, it's everything else that has kept me busy. I just keep getting jobs, just keep coming. I don't really know how to explain it. Thankful to God for all the blessings that I certainly don't deserve. But I mean, I think that at some point, once you hit a stride, and once you hit like when you go into a session and people are expecting to spend 5 hours on a job and you knock it out like no time, I think people start to be like, John's pretty good. And it's not me saying it, because in my head, I'm terrified. Like, this is the worst ever. I'm going to get replaced. I'm never going to be able to work in this town again. And they're like,
the one.
Good job, man. We'll see you. I'm like, really? We're done?
Was there like
you're welcome to me.
Was there like a particular role you were doing that you were like, what the hell am I even doing here?
There's been a few. Since this is an R-rated, or at least allowed to be R-rated plus, I will tell you the censored version of this story anyway, but I will share it here where normally if this was a PG friendly type thing, I would not share this conversation. So I got booked for the English dub of a Netflix series, and you can actually watch it on Netflix right now. It's called Sabura, and it's kind of like Sopranos, but actually in Italy. And it was dubbed into English, and when I was cast, this was by one of my first like group reads. And normally every day, everybody these days kind of records like we're doing right now. They record remotely. And even if they're doing a group read, they don't record in the same studio together. And it's kind of slowly become more and more like that over the years before lockdown even happened. Anyways, so the director comes in, and I'm not going to say who he is because you all know him. And several other people. And there was a big name from Voltron in there. There was a big name from Moana in there. There was people that were decent, really decent voice acting, better than me. And he's like, okay, guys, you guys all ready for the big orgy scene? And we're like, good one. We'll see you in there. And sure as we walked in the door up on that big screen, there it is. And then, so he's like, let's play it, because this is how you do a looping session. Let's play it through one time so we know what's going on, so we know what to sound like. And I'm just cold. Like, we thought you were joking, dude. Like, seriously. He's like, I thought we'd just go ahead and get the awkward part out of the way and then go on to the rest of the show. So we listened to the thing, and I'm like, I don't hear any English in this whatsoever. Why do we need to record this at all? We go through once, and it's just you just imagine a room of fully clothed normal people watching porn.
Grunting.
And all making the noises and microphone standing. It's just like the most awkward situation. I'm just like, why? If I'd known this, I probably wouldn't have signed up for it because I try to keep my brand family friendly. And then after the second round through, he starts assigning roles. He's like, John, why don't you take this rather vigorous fellow in the corner down here? Like, I cannot wait to see that on my IMDb. Rather rigorous fellow, Sabura, Jon Bailey. So yeah, there's been a few.
As a celebrity, your convention schedule is probably normally packed every year, but because
it really isn't.
Really?
People don't really hire me for conventions very often. I go to a couple. It was starting to get a little bit bigger right before lockdown happened, and then just everything canceled, just across the board. And the only thing I've done is the cartoon voices panel that was supposed to be at San Diego Comic-Con this year, because I kind of feel like I got robbed a little bit, because from a voice actor, you just don't even know. Like, that's one of the crown jewels in a voice actor's thing, to be on the San Diego Cartoon Voices panel, 1 or 2. And last year, Mark Evanier, the guy who runs all those panels, he's the director of Garfield, tons of other stuff's been at this a really long time, knows all the voice actors way back to the days of, June Foray, and, so he asked he's had a lot of the same people over and over again for a long time. And I think maybe attendance started to slip a little bit. So he decided to change things. So he inquired at agencies around LA and said, who's your up and coming? Who's booking stuff right now? Who's this? So my agent pitched me to him. So he tried me out at WonderCon, and I held my own up next to Phil Lamar and Jim Meskimen. And I thought I did okay. And he's like, you did X. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He said, I think it'd be cool if you could do Comic-Con, if you'd be standby in case somebody is either late or can't show up. You'll be guaranteed a spot on next year's panel. Or if they don't show up this year, you'll be on this year's panel. And I'd like you to be on the business of voice acting panel, which is a panel I've been going to for years to learn everything I could from agents. But it's not the same thing as the fun script reading panel that you want to go on. Mm-hmm. So last year, nobody canceled. Everybody was on time, so I didn't get to go. I was like, yeah, next year I'm going to be on the thing. Quarantine. Comic-Con goes virtual, and his panel goes on Zoom like 2 weeks after the thing. But it is online now if you guys want to watch it. I think that may have been the first time Corey Burton has ever done a panel. And Corey Burton is like one of my faves up here because he was the original voice of Shockwave, which I voiced in Bumblebee movie. And he even shared the story about how he came up with the voice, which I already knew, and informed him that that was the same story that I shared with Travis Knight while I was working on Bumblebee. So he's voice of the Haunted Mansion. He's the please get your hands and arms inside the tram at all times. Disneyland and Disney World. Mm-hmm. He's the voice of the Grindhouse trailers for Quentin Tarantino. I mean, stuff that you wouldn't even think of. He was Megatron and animated, and he was Shockwave in the original show. He's really awesome. I mean, his talent is crazy good. And Kimberly Brooks and Kari Wahlgren, two of my favorites. Kimberly was the princess in Voltron, and Kari is just pretty much everybody. She and Tara Strong pretty much tie for most awesomes in the female group. So and then JP, I can't pronounce his last name, and Corey Burton. You can check that out on YouTube somewhere. But that was one of the things I was really looking forward to this year. It didn't get canceled, but it might as well have been. And now I'm like, crap, when I open up Comic-Con probably next year, I won't be on the panel then. So like, oh well.
Back to the reserves.
I'm gonna count it through technicality. I'm like, yeah, maybe I can get Comic-Con to send me a free little plaque thing so I can pretend. Just said I owe you one plaque. Jon Bailey was here.
The whole COVID thing, and I apologize to YouTube. We're not supposed to say the name of the virus.
They don't like us anyway. It doesn't matter.
That's why they don't like us.
Yeah, we're not on YouTube right now, so
screw you, YouTube.
I don't know what happened. Like they're like, okay, he came back. He can be back on.
You're back on now?
As soon as you left, we got kicked off. But
so
as soon as you come back,
freaking me. This is why I don't post to YouTube anymore. They don't like me.
No, as soon as you came back, we're allowed back on there.
The 12 dozens and 12 systems.
So with COVID, we us as a group, we had decided, okay, we're going to go to like a con every 3 weeks. We're going to host panels. We're going to do the events. Because I took a 1.5-year break because my daughter was born April 5th.
Aren't you glad you took that break now?
At the time, I thought
long break.
I took the break because I thought I was going to like focus on starting a family. But now, single parent, I guess I can do my Geeks 5 Ever stuff. Because it was almost a 2-year break from the podcast. So we had all these plans. I had so many plans. I had so many plans, but 2020 is like, nope. One of the questions, real quick, Mitchell asked.
All these cool plans, and then 2020 comes along and says, how about no?
How about no? I was going to get my life together, get out of debt.
Yep.
How about no?
Double it.
How about viruses and killer insects, millions of years old, and things that chop off ants' heads? How about that?
Cocaine boars and meth gators.
One of the questions Mitchell asked: what are some actors or voice actresses that you have worked with that you never thought you would get a chance to work with? Assuming you can disclose that information.
There's a ton, but I think Bumblebee will probably be the coolest for me because I was a big Transformers fan, and that was what kind of led to this path anyway. But mainly because when I got there, I sat between Greg Delisle Griffin and Steve Bloom, who I've always looked up to, and we've known each other but not worked together. That was just a different experience. So there was like, Steve's like, dude, you're here, man. You made it. And I'm like, I'm just ADR, dude. I'm like, I'm not a big. Back then, I didn't know I'd be any of the final voices for the thing. So yeah, that was it. Just like. But there's been other times I've walked into studios and this Tom Kenny's just like, hi, John, and I'm just like, hi, Mr. Kenny. I'm your biggest fan. These people know me by first name basis, and for me, that's just like I still want to say Mr. Kenny,
right.
Or Miss Griffin,
right.
Mr. Bloom, Mr. Bloom. How pleased we are to meet you, Mr. Bloom.
I think.
Oh, spot on.
I
too.
see you're here to record on Bumblebee, Mr. Bloom.
I've never heard you do him before. That's awesome.
Well, that's when I first met him in person. I just assumed he had this crazy smoker voice because that's what he sounds like.
Right?
He sounds like he smokes like really hard. And he doesn't at all. he just has it. And then we were all doing, like, we get in the green room, and of course, we start messing around, and you get more than one voice actor together. And all of a sudden, and then Steve Bloom's like cracking out, like, that tickles over the monster. I'm like, holy crap. You're supposed to stay downstairs, man. Leave some stuff for us, Like, he is far beyond impressive. He's like one of the best I've ever seen. There's a few out there that are iconic and they're amazing, but there's some out there that are just so freaking impressive. You're just like, ooh, that guy's so freaking cool. Wish I could do what he does.
that talented jerk.
Like D. Bradley Baker, man, he can just make monsters come out of his face, and it's like, jeez. And I've impressed myself a few times, but I have no idea what I'm doing. But he knows what he's doing. He knows how all the pieces work. I'm just like making things come out, and all of a sudden a noise comes out. It's like, oh, that was cool. I don't know how I could do that. It's like, make sure to save that one. I don't know how to do that again, but.
Are there any actors or voice actors that you haven't worked with that you really hope one day, once all this craziness
I haven't
ends?
got to work on anything with Tara Strong yet, and that would be really cool.
Are you serious? You really haven't?
No, the only thing that I'm credited for is filling in for Tara Strong's burp in a BotCon script reading. Like that was because the girl that got her part couldn't do they tried to do a real belch, and I Maurice LaMarche did, you know, one of those elf Buddy the Elf type things. It's not a real burp, but Maurice LaMarche became very good at doing that.
Yeah.
And I just threw one out there, and everybody's like, ah. And then somehow that ended up on my credit list on something, like on behind the voice actors or something. And I'm like,
you were a burp.
You guys credit a script reading at a convention? All right.
Love it. Love it. Stop.
There's a cat.
Sorry, that's Bailey.
That's the cat that's always
cat after me. Aw.
No, that's her that's her slave name, her shelter name. I never got around to changing.
Jeez.
That's not good.
Sorry.
That's bad.
I never got around to changing it.
Really
I never got
bad.
around to changing it. So she let
I
herself
hope
in.
she's not a Jellicle cat, because you're in trouble.
disclaimer,
No.
some of the opinions expressed on this podcast don't necessarily reflect
sorry,
those
that was
of
terrible.
the
I'm so
other
sorry.
co-hosts.
That was
Admins
terrible.
are sponsors of Geeks 5 Ever.
Tonight on Podcast After Dark,
That was an accident.
We talk about slave
But
cats.
no, legit.
Joe goes darker.
But no, yeah. So she let herself in, and she can't remember how to let herself out. So she's
She
being
let herself in. Now she can't let herself
so
out.
she's being a drama queen
She's
about
gone
it.
too far. Now
That's what-
there's no turning back.
I tried to have her like on, but she just keeps squirming. She doesn't like to be
She tried
held.
to turn her on.
Hold on a second. Let me like disappear for a second.
knock, knock, FBI.
Shit.
We heard you have a slave cat.
No.
You're like, Feather, please come out with the pants up.
We can still kind of see.
See,
Yes, we can still
I can
kind of
see.
Oh.
See clearly now. The rain is gone. I see dead people.
about that.
Hey. So you didn't cover up your camera that well.
Fuck off, guys.
Nice pants.
We see you wore the yellow
I see
ones.
the common theme of this podcast is no pants.
You got the memo.
You got the memo, dude.
That's right.
Seems like you should label this one cheeky.
She said no butt stuff when you left, so we're not allowed to go there.
How many serious question. How many times a day are you harassed to be on
15.
someone's podcast?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were talking about something else. On podcasts, not really that often.
Really?
But it's I get more harassed for, hey, make this on his trailer. I'm like, go ask Mark Hamill, hey, make this Star Wars movie. I go ask Kevin Conner, hey, make this Batman. I'm a voice actor, people. I don't just because you hear my voice in a video doesn't mean I made it. It does not click
Clearly.
the freaking captions. That's why we have them. It says who made it right there. Read. Use your eyes. Don't go to the dark side. Come on.
But they have free food
Bunch of
and
people
health
looking at
insurance.
it like, can you just put it in emojis who are doing it?
Because the reason why, because there's a lot of podcasters. Houston is known. No, not just Houston, but Texas overall has a ton of podcasting groups, and there are some.
I hear podcasting is huge. I just don't.
We've got nothing better to do.
I had an idea for one at one point. I wanted to get several other sounded like people like me, impressionists, impersonators, whatever you want to call them, and just we'd have a list of celebrities that we all knew we could do, and we would pitch it to the people to pick, and we had to do the entire podcast as that actor the entire
fun.
time.
That sounds
Whoever
great.
whoever breaks, gone. You know, to do it. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do it that way, because I could do this all day. Like I really could. That would be so much fun to do.
That sounds awesome. I'd watch that.
Yeah, I couldn't get anybody on board. Oh well. I just can't. I can't be just me talking to myself the whole entire time.
We'll give you Keyblade Sonic.
Is it any good? Let's hear your voice. Come on.
It'll be even better.
Oh, no.
In-person audition right now. Go.
Audition, go quick.
Do something funny.
Right now.
No,
Well, I
too
think
late.
it's all important that this is the audition because this is my audition and no one's gonna stop me from doing anything.
You're fired. All right. No.
But I can't be fired. If I'm fired, I gotta go to my dad. He will beat me senseless until I can't breathe for a bit. But it's okay. At least I know what to do.
So you gotta get smart and dig you a hole back in the shed and sleep out there. Stay away from your daddy.
Okay, Daddy. All right, sir. I will
Leave
do
some
my
biscuits
best.
and mustard for yourself to snack on later.
Oh, okay.
I feel
I'll do what I gotta do.
I feel so like all I can do are like a couple of Dragon Ball Z ones, and that's it.
Let's
I
hear it.
watch
Do it
way
right
too
now.
much Dragon Ball Z.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, hold on.
Do it.
Give me a second.
Rise.
Boo! Ha Marching Bell!
Boo. I have no idea if that's right or not. I don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
It's pretty accurate.
And then there's Mr. Satan.
Oh, yeah! Finally, an adversary I can actually defeat!
It's Satine, actually.
Thanks, Satan.
And one more.
Actually, it's pronounced
Yes, Satan.
Stan, but the
Hey, look,
T is
Vegeta!
silent.
Vegeta, look! It's a voice actor. It's the epic trailer guy.
No.
Awesome.
That one I recognize. Only because we did the thing with Dragon Ball Abridged a long time ago. That's the only reason why I recognize it.
Look, yeah, did you hear that, Vegeta? We've worked with him. Yay. Can you sign my
Somebody who only
boobs?
watches Dragon Ball Z a vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
A vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
A vegetarian.
A vegetarian.
But Vegeta. I want a Chia Pet with Vegeta, where it grows the hair, just that little fuzz.
Chia.
Oh, they should have one of Goku going Super Saiyan. You can grow it over 9,000.
Holy crap! I would buy that. I would
You buy anything Dragon Ball Z.
You probably already ordered it.
It's on back.
Were there other questions, or is this just a rambling thing?
No, we had questions.
I'm just messing with
I know
guys.
you are.
Everybody's like, dude, is he serious?
Dude.
Like, is he messing with them? Or is it...
I've actually had people like, I think his career's gone to his head. I think he's super. Like, I'm wearing a Gurr t-shirt with tacos on it.
Well, I'm not gonna say any names, but there are some people who are voice actors that have come off as a little
Sonic Keyblade.
rude.
Damn.
No. Well, I went to a con.
Caught me off my off day.
I went to a con. And I'm like, hey man, you're one of my favorite voice actors, and I try to talk to him, and I try to like get him to autograph some stuff, and he was just like, not even making eye contact with me until I like whipped out some money. So
Yeah, I had experience like that too.
I don't want to say his name.
I don't want to say it either, but he and I are friends now, so maybe it's okay.
I don't think we're
But
talking
see,
about the same
okay,
person.
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate, Mr. Satine's advocate for a second. In he like later on, I told him what happened. He's like, dude, sometimes I'm just completely exhausted, and I'm just in a bad mood for some totally separate reason, and some poor unsuspecting fan just happens to stay around too long when I'm in a bad mood. And I'm like, dude, it's totally fine now. You know, everything ended up being cool, but you know, I can see. Because that's happened to me before, and I am a really nice guy, I swear. But somebody actually tattled on me one time. He followed me around a convention and was wanting to talk to me because I was on some Facebook group with him, not realizing that, okay, Facebook profile pictures are this freaking big. I can't see what you look like. I don't know what you look like in real life. And then you're coming up with me, hey, like we're best friends and known each other forever, and I don't know who you are. I'm just like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, and then I move on. I'm not going to stand there like, oh, man, Joe, right? From downtown? Yeah, hey. I don't know who you are, man. I'm sorry. You gotta introduce yourself and say how we know each other first. And I was being rushed around the convention by security, and every time he tried to connect with me, we couldn't talk, and he took it the wrong way, like I was just legitimately trying to avoid him, not wanting to talk to him. And the guy in the Facebook group like kind of went to me, he's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And like, dude, I freaking didn't know. I just didn't know, man. I was doing my job. People were telling me where to go. So yeah, after that, I became hyper aware of making sure nobody has a bad experience, and even then, somebody's gonna have a bad experience.
Right.
You can't make anybody happy, no matter how hard you try.
Well, like the experience I had, he was by himself, and it was kind of early. He didn't have a line. I waited till he didn't have anybody there, so I approached him. I'm like, dude, you're one of my favorite voices of one of my favorite characters of all time. I watched it in Spanish. I watched it when I was in Mexico, and I watched it here, and I would like for you. I was talking to him. He's being a little rude, didn't make eye contact with me. And then, I asked him how much he charged, and he said he gave me a price, and I'm like,
I think
okay,
I said
that's
$50,
cool.
right? Is that what I told you?
It's
not me, I swear. I'm just
got him
messing.
now.
$50.
He's been waiting for revenge all these years, and he finally got me on his podcast. I'm kidding.
No, it was $50 and a Subway sandwich. Hey man, you want me to sign this? Go get me some lunch. You have no idea how long I've been in front of this booth. I haven't eaten. Go get me a sandwich, and we'll negotiate a price.
Give me a sandwich.
I just I've come across other voice actors. The voice actor of Majin Buu. We just wanted to show him a pop. We show him the pop. He snatches out of our hand and autographs it. He's supposed to charge us $20. He ends up autographing it for free. He's like, "Here you go, man." And we were like, "Holy
John
shit!"
DiMaggio cussed out somebody. So Dragon Con happens on John DiMaggio's birthday every year, y'all.
Oh, wow.
It's always around Labor Day. It always is, because birthdays don't change, and Dragon Con doesn't either. So I was apparently the first person who's like, "Oh, by the way, happy birthday." And he was like, "Oh man, you remember my birthday?" And he's like, "Oh, sign and get a picture." And she's like, "No, you have to pay me." And he's like, "Sit down, shut the prank off. You remember my birthday, man." And he's like, like it's right after he cussed at somebody. He's like,
I think the best celebrity experience I've ever had, besides this one, is with Walter Jones at AllCon in Dallas, Texas. He played Zach. He played Zach in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
oh, okay. He's a nice guy. He's on TikTok.
He's a
now.
great guy.
Mm-hmm.
They have a party at this con for all the con goers and the guests or whoever, and it's in a hotel room in a suite, and they're giving out free
He
alcohol.
sounds like Congo.
So he's
Congoers, the
Congoers.
movie.
So we're taking shots together, and I'm over here
the
trying
same
to
glass?
have a conversation with him, but he's talking to one of the
I'll be right
girls
back.
that has a lot of personality.
You're fired.
He's talking to one of the girls that has a lot of personality. He's not even making eye contact with her. He's just staring at her chest like, "Oh yeah, I know. Tell me about it." Yep.
A lot of personality.
A lot of personality. In our defense, we were both drunk. Next
He's a
thing you know,
huge
we're
personality.
hugging and calling each other bro and drinking together.
Yeah,
Swapping
can't do that
stories.
anymore.
I got one like that.
That was
too.
never like that. I saw other actors do that. I'm never like that. I'm just like, let's go someplace public with lots of other people.
There you go.
Let's get you alone when no one can see you.
Well,
That's
at
the
all
plan.
con, it's such a small con that I don't think it's unavoidable. I think it's unavoidable
Is it?
there.
It is inevitable.
It is inevitable.
Do it.
Do it.
I want to see somebody do a Mountain Dew commercial with Palpatine.
Just
They
do
they
it.
really missed it
Or
on that
Nike.
one. Totally.
Or
They
no,
missed out.
Nike would have been
Do
better.
it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Do the do. Do it.
Have you ever been to any of the con parties for the guests, celebrities, or anything? Like
Yeah,
that?
sure. I don't have any crazy stories, guys. Sorry. I don't.
Damn it. Okay,
I'm
well, there
not
goes
a
my second question.
We got the one guy.
I mean, Rachel has been with me at an after party thing. Have you seen me do anything completely?
No.
I'm
Well,
just sit there. Make
There
if she was there, we know
And
nothing
then-
exciting
I'm
happened.
going.
Actually, there was one. There was one thing that was about to happen. It was Okay.
Okay, before you share the story,
I wasn't gonna say this thing, but I felt like you needed rest.
Oh, you know. Okay.
Before you
I
share,
wasn't gonna bring it up, but
before you share it,
you know, VodCon's coming back, and I don't know who's attached to it.
on a scale of to 1 to Goku, how bad is it?
Not.
It didn't
Nowhere-
get to that point.
Nowhere near
Six-
Goku.
We stopped. We
Six,
stopped.
Nowhere near.
5.
Nowhere near Goku.
Okay, good.
Was someone
we
unconscious
prevented-
on the floor?
Oh, God,
we
no,
made
it
sure
never
there
got
was a
to
lot
that
of people
point.
around.
See,
Never noticed how sparkly my shirt is in this
it's
webcam.
nice.
Look, galaxy.
Yeah, you're like a shiny Pokemon.
I know, right? It's just a camera trick. Isn't it? There's no actual
So-
sparkles. It's just a weird camera. It's like,
So
So-
BotCon 2012 was BotCon actually used to move around a lot. It stayed in Pasadena, California a lot, of course, because that's where all the actors are. But this year they had it in Dallas, Texas, and it was on my birthday. So I was like, oh, I am playing this up. I am enjoying this. This is gonna be great.
wasn't it your 21st too?
No, actually 23rd.
Oh, okay. Because I just assumed that was the reason why all the pounding. It's like, well, she's 21. That makes a lot of sense.
No, I did it because no, 20. Yeah. So it was like really exciting. I got to hang out.
The comment section. The comment section.
Goku levels of crazy are hard to get for the most people.
Doesn't involve Slave Cat.
Slave Cat.
I didn't have Bailey at the time. Bailey, I've only had Bailey for a year or so.
That was there.
Yes. Yes.
There are probably other Baileys involved. You know what I mean?
I don't remember if there was any other Baileys involved.
Probably.
Well, okay, so it started off with the hotel bar had a special, like, oh, we've got these drinks named after all the characters. Well, not all the characters, like Bumblebee, Megatron, and Optimus. Right. And so I'm like I said, I'll try anything.
I'll take
once.
two
I'm like,
Wheaties.
Sure. Yeah. So some other people that I met during the concert were like, oh, yeah, it's your birthday. Buy the girl shots. And I was like, shots. I actually also we were also happened to be right next
Ended up naked and duct taped to the back of a car and headed to Arizona. And I was like the Garfield on the window.
No, nothing that bad happened. But I got to sit but I was apparently sitting next to, I think it was Chris Milne from the IDW comics.
I don't remember.
Right, I don't remember either, to be totally honest. But I know it's one of the comic artist guys, and because even he was like, "Oh, it's your birthday, let me buy you a drink," and I was like,
Everybody was.
Everyone was.
Remember that 80 crystals we bought?
Yeah.
80 freaking crystals, dude. 80. It's a lot of freaking crystal sandwiches, y'all. Woo! Y'all folks that aren't in the South, you don't even know what a crystal is.
Yeah.
White Castle, same thing. Same thing.
So, pants.
There's something about lose your pants. Wait.
One of the comments is, do you ensure that everyone had pants, including the cat? There were no cats, but there were pants.
I'm wearing them. Give myself a wedgie showing them off, but ow.
Channeling Buddy.
My own balls now.
No, so what happened then was we went up to one of our friends' rooms, and these little toys. Hold on. BRB gotta pee. These little toys came out called Bot Shots.
Yes.
And so
I
we
forgot
were
that was the year Bot Shots came out.
So we were like, we're doing Bot Shots. And so
we played Bot Shots and drank.
Yeah. So Bot Shots were little Transformer toys. They're like, I don't know, like Beyblades or something. You're supposed to
they pop open.
Yeah. Boing. You're supposed to pick like a stat. You hit them together, and whichever one is the higher stat, the loser drinks. So we did that for a little bit, and for whatever reason, we decided to leave. And it was like you, me, and someone.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just leave it at someone. And I don't know how the hell this happened, but this someone started making out with me, and I saw that you were leaving. I was like, wait, no, and you had gone, and I was like, shit. You know what? Nope. And night's over. And that someone did.
I didn't see that part. Sorry. I would have saved you. I was trying to prevent anybody from getting hurt because I could tell that person was leading in that direction with multiple people that night.
I didn't realize. I'll be honest. I was really like oblivious at that point. So I was like, I did not know that was a thing because they tried to get me to like go to their room or something. I was like, nope, calling it a night. Bye. Have a good one. We'll see. Night is it's too old for me. So
come on, man, just look at it.
No, but then we just moved on with the convention and stuff. Who else? Who was there? Dan Galvazan, who did Bumblebee, and Buster Jones, who did Blaster, and all these people.
Yeah, that was the last year.
All
Buster
this
Jones passed away that following year too.
He did. I was so sad, but it was really sad. But it was really cool that I got to meet him when we did. Turns out he and my mom went to the same college around the same time.
What?
So I was like, hey.
Thanks, hon.
I know, right? It's like 6 degrees at least.
I forget what the subject was now.
Weird BotCon stories.
Weird convention story. I don't have any crazy convention stories. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
We always just ended up at Denny's at like 3:00.
Nice.
That's pretty weird.
Is it?
That's pretty awesome, actually.
I go to IHOP.
You know how many cosplayers
I have too,
that are broke, they just live off of sugar packets and water?
Yep.
True.
The craziest celebrity run-in that I had though
Yeah.
was I was at Sherman Oaks ArcLight, which is a pretty popular screening place for celebrities to try to sneak into during the weekdays. Like they don't ever go on a weekend because it's packed and there's lots and lots of people. But they have like valet parking. They are very kind to their celebrity friends, whatever. So I was out of town at a convention. I was in Poland at Poznan actually for a convention. And the week that Deadpool 2 came out. So I told my wife, rain check, we'll do it as soon as I get back because I really wanted to see it. So we went on like a Tuesday night. And I have celebrity radar. I don't even know how to explain that because I can't remember my kids' names half the time. But I'm just like, dude, I know that guy over there 100 feet away is in this thing that I've seen. Right. So like I'm coming up the stairs and my first instinct was like, that's Timothy Oliphant. And there was like, no, that's not Timothy Oliphant. That's that other guy that looks like Timothy Oliphant. That's not Timothy Oliphant. That's Josh Duhamel. And my wife's a huge fan, and me working on Transformers, I mean, potatoes, potato. So I tell my wife, it's like, as soon as we come on there, I was like, that's Josh Duhamel. She's like, there's no way, that guy's way too tall. So we go over, we get our tickets, didn't really think too much about it. And I noticed that the huge section in the center had all been sold out already. I'm like, well, we get two in the middle right here, it's fine. So we get our tickets, we go to the snack bar, and we're literally standing right behind Josh Duhamel and his current date, because he'd just broken up with Fergie at the time, apparently. And my wife she literally, I've never seen her geek out before. She like full-fledged geeked out. She was like, and I could not help myself. Somebody should put a muzzle on me when I go in public because I shouldn't do these things. I was like, Josh,
have you seen any Decepticons lately?
He goes, whoa. He's like, that was really good. I was like, I actually fill in for Optimus Prime sometimes. He's like, really? I'm like, yes, I've had to fill in for you before, but I didn't get the job. He's like, oh man, we talked about ADR a little bit. And my wife was like, hi. She totally freaked out. And I was like, calm down, take it down a notch, you know. And then they go off with a celebrity, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and she's like, I was like, I know. What are the odds of that, right? So we go to the theater, and we sit down, and I noticed that the theater is way more emptier than the tickets suggested. Josh Duhamel was in our theater, and he'd bought all the seats around him, so nobody was sitting next to him and his date. So we came in, and it's like, is that a guy? From like all the way across the theater, and I'm like. And I don't know if you remember the Taco Bell commercials that Josh Duhamel did, but I was like, I'm sorry, she didn't believe when I told her that you were who you said you were. And I was like, no, man, it's him, the burger people, man. And he's like, I got the joke, you know. And then we do the thing. My wife leans over and she goes, the one night I forget to put on makeup. And I mean, Josh Duhamel. And because we were watching Deadpool, I was like, I bet you're glad you wore your brown pants. And so I was girlfriend like, he sounds just like Ryan Reynolds. And then it's not over yet. At the end of the movie, I was messing with her because she was like behind him going, I love you, marry me. Like faking, like, I want to go home with you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, you're going to miss your boyfriend. And I did heart hands and he turned around right when I was doing this in his direction. And he's like, go. And then he followed me on Twitter later on that night when I told the story.
That's awesome.
Has there ever been a celebrity that you have totally just fangirl like,
I got a little nervous around Serbian Kingsley, but that's only because he's Serbian Kingsley. And he had a mouthful of food too, so I don't know why I was so nervous. That was back before I knew proper how to meet a celebrity etiquette. Rule number 1: don't bother them when they're eating. It was a San Diego Comic-Con, and the entire cast of Box Trolls was a long, big table. And I see Ben Kingsley, and I was going to say, oh, I filled in for you in Ender's Game. And I come over there, and he's like, he just went out of his mouth. I was like, really nice to meet you, and just walked away. I was like, why did I do that? Why? So stupid. But the girl that played the princess in Maleficent, she got up from her table. She was offered to take a picture with me. She was like super, super cool about it, but everybody else was just kind of like, whoa, another nerd bothering us while we're trying to eat our food. Oh man. And it's not a big deal for me, but anybody know Bo Burnham? I'm not sure if you know who he is.
Yes.
He worked on several sessions at Detective Pikachu, but I didn't know who he was at the time. I just wanted to get a picture with him because the guy's a freaking giant. He's massive, dude. Like I came up to here on him. There's a picture on my Instagram where I come up to his elbow and he's just like hunkering down next to me like, hello. He's freaking. He's like the dude in Big Fish. It's like the frost giant from freaking Game of Thrones or something.
Hey, 1-1, get over here.
Exactly.
Has there how's your reaction whenever you come across fans that are just like screaming and
I'm like, get out of my face, bub. No.
That's what he said to me at TFCon.
I don't really get a lot of people like fanning out on me. Every once in a while, somebody will get really happy because it's not at my table. It's because I'll be in the general vicinity and I'll have something that I like. Oh, they'll probably like that because sometimes I've done signed script readings from stuff and I'll just give it to the person that's sitting there and then all of a sudden I have a fan for life somehow. I don't know. I'm just like, oh hey, would you like this? Or just that usually those are the more freaking out experiences. But I get recognized more than I assumed I should. But for me, it's still weird because I don't think people should recognize me, I guess. I haven't done enough for people to know what I look like. So, for me, that's always like, what do you want?
Yeah, I actually didn't know. What
like, hey, I'm like, oh.
I had I saw you once and then I watched a bunch of the Honest Trailer videos. And then I saw the Nostalgia Critic video again. And I'm like, holy crap, that's him.
Yeah, a lot of people just only know what I sound like. So, I mean, that's one of the benefits of being a voice actor is that unless you talk the way you talk all the time, nobody's going to know, or unless you advertise it. But at conventions, I used to, because they requested me like to wear Honest Trailers apparel so people would know what I worked on. Now I'm just like, I'm just going to wear clothes. But it's only ever awkward for me when I've got my family with me because we have an autistic child, and it can be very difficult in public situations. So there's a few people that'll be respectful, and later on they'll be like, hey, I saw Epic Voice Guy such and such, but I didn't want to bother me with his family. Really cool to see you. And I'm like, thank you for not, because I've been in that situation where I'm at Disneyland and it's like, hey man, can I get in? My son's like, ah, and I'm like, not a good time, read the room. So that's one of the reasons why I don't say, hey guys, I'm at Universal Studios today, because I don't want a bunch of people like, autograph. Because there can be, I mean, there's been so many people that have gotten hurt or killed from the YouTube community. Mm-hmm. It's just not safe to let people know where you are anymore. So,
it's not. That's why whenever we invite guests, we always ask them like, hey, do you want to use a stage name? Do you want to use your cosplay name?
You asked me if I was going to wear pants. That's the only thing you asked me.
It's a very important question.
People are like,
choose wisely.
They're like, oh, Goku, we'll watch your podcast whenever we have time. And as soon as we announce you're going to be on here, what? Let's go support Goku.
Why don't they do that for me? They only like me when I'm on somebody else's thing. Nobody wants to follow my own stuff.
I'll follow his
him.
stuff.
I have to freaking make a podcast.
You gotta remember, because you are who you are, you're like, oh, he's above. He's not people. He's above.
People
us.
assume that. I don't. Rachel knows. She's like, hey, you want to be on podcast? Okay.
So whenever Rachel runs into you again in person, damn it, we use Rachel's real name.
Yeah, you said that for a few times.
We've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
That's too late.
I didn't know we weren't allowed to use real names. I'm sorry.
John, it's fine. They can call me.
So when you run into Rachel again in person,
it's okay.
We're going to give Rachel a gift. Hopefully you'll wear it one day, maybe. I don't know. That's up to you.
I'm not wearing women's clothing. There's only so much I'll do for $5 for podcasts.
Well, no. We offered you $5 and an expired Subway coupon.
No, I had 12 inches. You only offered a 6 inch. Just saying.
The Subway coupon is expired.
Double meat, all the free refills I want.
It's kind of like my...
and then I'll wear her hat right here, like Madonna.
Well, we're making Geeks 5 Ever t-shirts.
The Bumblebee's horns instead of those cones.
We're making Geeks 5 Ever t-shirts, so we'll throw one your way.
All right.
How much? We'll get one before we do.
How much to promote this thing? What's it in for me?
It's 12-inch Subway.
We're pretty intimidating in person. We'll be your security. I even speak Spanish. Lárgate.
I'm
you can just help me out by teaching me Spanish, because I want to be able to say "te larga" in my epic.
No, it's a trap. I tried that.
So much cooler.
I tried that. He's gonna teach you bad Spanish.
No, I'm not. I actually teach
me good Spanish. You want me to get hired and do the cool voices, right? You want to hear Spanish Optimus Prime?
That's what
I have to learn how to say it.
Okay, to be honest, yeah, that would be cool.
Optimus Prime.
Hey!
Yo soy un troca. Brum, brum.
So I actually auditioned for some voice, and because I can speak Spanish,
you auditioned for some voice.
For some voices, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well, English
must
is
have
kind
been
of
some voice.
Well, no, English sometimes. English really isn't like my first language, so sometimes I.
No.
I'm
shocked.
No, because people like when people talk to me,
I
I'm
just
like,
thought
yeah,
you spoke
hi,
Spanish
my
really,
name
really
is-"
well.
My people are like, hi, yeah, I'm Jesse. I'll meet you when they see me. Excuse me, senor. Yes.
¿Qué pasa, el diablo?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Speak Spanish.
¿A dónde estamos? La biblioteca.
I'm like, loco.
You gotta understand. There's three forms of Spanish.
Vamos a jugar basketball.
There's three forms. There's three.
Goku, tell me if I'm saying this right.
Go ahead.
Mi pantalones son muy picante.
Your pants are very spicy.
Correct. Yay! I said it right. Yay!
So there's three different types of Spanish. Hola, yo soy Goku. Normal Spanish. And there's the órale, aquí estamos con Geeks Forever, con Telemundo. Aquí estamos hablando con un voice actor de la YouTube.
Radio. It's radio Spanish.
Hola, me llamo.
That's the Danny Trejo Spanish. Hola, Miami. This is my machete.
Like the Spanish one though, the one that suddenly everyone that speaks Spanish can suddenly talk with is Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And when the individual they're after is no longer interested, they're like chingatela.
There's a request in the comments.
What is the request?
Would you say
¿Dónde están las drogas? No.
I know what that means.
I don't want
I'm not going to say it.
I don't want my mom's cousins coming after me. Oh man.
Although that does kind of sound like a character from Game of Thrones, if you think of it.
Drogas.
Droga, come on.
Droga. Have you like what were?
Yes.
Comic Cons are like what would you say if like somebody like just hey, we're a Comic Con in Mexico, can you like show up and
Yeah, just show up.
just show
Make
up.
sure you bring your security and all of your money. We'll meet you in the corner behind the alley.
You gotta
no, I have a con agent, so they have to go through my con agent to get me booked. So make sure everything's on the legit up and up. Make sure I actually get paid, because there's some conventions out there that have been known. Be like, come on, we'll pay you all this money, and at the end of the convention, oh, we didn't make enough. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing
You
about
got your money up front. Too late.
so Comic Cons are growing in Mexico. Like some of their cosplayers are like second to none. The Comic Cons are amazing. They're getting a lot of cosplayers and voice actors and actresses and everywhere from all over the world. And Mexico's really like part of the cultural background, believe it or not, of Mexico is like Dragon Ball Z plays a major part when it comes to like
I don't
just
remember
stuff
seeing
in-
that history class.
Well, in Mexico when Dragon Ball Super
Ago.
when Dragon Ball Super was airing in Mexico, they were airing it on like a big movie theater type screen in the middle of like the center of town, and they were showing it, and like 10,000 people would show up and watch it. Toei Animation tried to stop the country from doing it, but it was so bad that they actually had to negotiate a deal with Mexico.
It's like weren't going to stop
And listen,
showing it.
people, I'll stop building the wall, and I'll put up a movie theater screen, all right?
Fuck.
Let you watch all
Is he
the
here?
anime you want to, okay?
Hold on, I gotta protect myself from the Trump. Hold on.
He's
What
taking
is
out.
that?
He's out there taking all
selfie
our
stick.
American podcasts,
Oh, something stick.
You can hit somebody hard enough with it actually break.
outsourcing all of our podcasts.
True. True.
You're but if you decided to do your own podcast, I would actually be very, very interested in following you.
Okay.
watching it.
You'd be the only one there.
He would be the second one there. Just saying.
I'm not interesting. I really am.
Solid
really boring.
6 to 7 people.
I'm a
Easy.
nerd that just has a cool job. That's all there is to me.
Well,
Exactly.
the
I
cool
was
job is the
freaking
best part.
dying.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other people that have cool jobs. That would just be.
Well,
There's way cooler people that have the same job that I do. I'm the not cool guy. I'm the one sitting over there at the dork table. Yeah.
You're moving up.
Like we're in
You're
the same
getting to
cafeteria,
table.
but I don't sit at the same table as they do.
You're almost with the cool kids table. You
It's
are
like, hey,
in a
guys,
major motion picture.
Can I have voices next to you?
I'm gonna sit over there.
Because they were there with Big Mignona.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there are other podcasts with other people, so mainly Jim Cornette, who just go online and cuss and talk about how horrible professional wrestling is.
I worked on wrestling games. That's the only thing I have to say that's related.
Did you voice The Rock?
Well, I have voiced The Rock several times. It wouldn't be the first time I've done an electrifying performance. I filled in for him for 2 movies, something like that. But no, I was the voice of Jim. What was his name? Something. It was he was the
Jim
wrestler
Ross.
called Jim, but he had a fake name for Jim. He was Jack Tice in WWE 2K18, and then 19. I was the Memphis wrestler announcer voice.
Yeah, you were for the podcast.
The Memphis guy with the terrible twin sons.
Yeah, and my career.
What's so funny is like, dude, did you tell them I'm from Memphis? And they're like, yeah, we told them. And then the second time I was like, oh man, can you do a Memphis episode? Like, did you tell them that I'm from Memphis? And then the third time, I was like, hey, so, actually in the set, it's like, so we were looking for like a really authentic. I was like, I'm from Memphis. You can't get more authentic than me because I was born and raised. I was like, really? I'm like, I've been telling them to tell you that I was from Memphis all along. And they kept asking, do you think you can do a Memphis accent? Oh, I don't know, man.
What is a Memphis accent? I just assumed
Memphis accent, if I talk normal, which is very embarrassing for me, but all the G's drop off the end of my words, and my I's all go from I to I. They're real lazy about it. And we're running down at night.
Accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're running down at night. You know, that's the same accent that Elvis had, man. It's just not as overblown as he is. You know,
We need you to sound like
It's
Elvis.
a little less Johnny Bravo. You know what I mean? Not everybody in Memphis talks like Johnny Bravo, man.
Well, because I've always I don't think I have like a Texas accent, but whenever I go to another state for a con, they're like, "Oh my God, you're
Yeah,
Mexican
get that
and
too.
you're a Texan."
there's a few people that are like good enough. They're like,
Tex-Mex.
from the South, right? And I'm like, yeah. And it's like it's so slight, but I can, you know, when I get lazy or I'm just like not paying attention to it, yeah, it's much worse.
Yeah, I told my camp friends I was from Houston, Texas, and they were like, "No, you're not. You don't sound like you're from Texas." And then I got like really excited, and they're like, "Okay, there it is."
Yeah, now I hear it.
By marrying
We
a
went to
Cajun
Missouri one
person.
time. We went to Misery one time, and they were like, y'all sure y'all from Memphis? Y'all don't sound like y'all from Memphis. I'm like, yes, we're from Memphis. Say something else. They just kept making us say things. Oh, listen to the way they talk, y'all. Say something else. Say something in y'all's weird voices. They claim they're from the South, but they must be aliens because they talk like they're from the West Coast.
You sound like somebody from South Park.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's my little Gideon voice from Gravity Falls.
Oh, that's right. I haven't
That's
seen that
right,
show
little
in
Gideon.
years.
I know you knew who I was. I'm so cute.
It was really creepy. Is that's his real voice, basically. I mean, he's cutening up a little bit.
But that's just how he talks. He talks like this really tiny voice.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
He directed Angry Birds too, and I was watching the thing with my kids. I'm not an Angry
Oh,
Birds.
that's
My-
he
my son
voices Flapjack.
Yeah, he also voices Flapjack. He's got a little Gideon voice.
And like, and then I saw him in the thing. I was like, "He directed this movie? That's what? That's so weird."
There's
He looks like Jace. He kind of a little bit bigger beard, but he looks just like him.
I mean, he just talks like this all the time. Just a little bitty voice.
That's creepy.
Jace is here because we need.
There's some questions here somewhere. I just know. it.
Jace is here because we had to fulfill a demographic.
Right, I'm the white guy. So you're here. I'll leave.
Needed more white people.
This is the only one.
Yeah, when there's more
There
of
can be
y'all,
only
the
one.
podcast is more welcoming.
Oh, it's like it's okay. There's some white people here, y'all. Everything's
No longer
They're
dangerous.
not.
Totally safe.
They're not gonna talk about lawn
Jeez.
care and mowing, and leaf blowers and sales at Sears on lawnmowers.
I like to get up in the
What?
morning and have my McDonald's coffee.
I don't know. What do white people talk about?
I have almost.
I
been-
looked at my portfolio the other day. The stock market, business,
I'll buy it with my credit card.
At all the cons we go to, I wear your poncho and sombrero, and a couple of times, I have almost been deported.
Jeez. For dressing like Unbreakable? That's not fair.
Well, one time we were at Comic Palooza in Houston,
Not that
Texas.
kind of poncho.
We're at Comic Palooza in Houston, Texas, and I'm going down to the lobby because we got to go to Walmart, and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna wear the poncho and sombrero. Screw it. We go down there, the lobby's filled with people. Everyone stops, and suddenly they're all clapping. They're all like, "You're so brave. You're so brave. You're so brave. Yeah, you made it. Congratulations. They're like, thank you. I'm like, what the shit? I'm looking at my friend, dude. Have they never seen a Mexican before? We're in Texas.
Oh.
I didn't
you
know.
dressed up like what they think all of them look like.
An authentic one got over.
Brought Danny Trejo to life. They literally thought there was going to be some Django going down.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this,
Some
but
Tarantino.
Hillary Clinton was in that hotel doing a convention, some kind of speech or something or whatever. So I didn't know this. So I go outside and I see protesters, and I think they're the Christian protesters protesting the con. So I start trolling them. I'm like, "Órale, I know her." And I start doing this, and I go, "I know her." Next thing you know, the cops show up. All my friends bailed.
See, that's what Crooked Hillary does. She arrests people that dress a certain way,
So
certain color of skin.
the
Crooked
cops,
Hillary.
the cops are behind me. I'm turning around. Where'd all my friends go? I'm like, "Órale." As soon as the cops come up, and I'm like, "Ora, how you doing, officer?" And they're like, "Why?"
Would you like to go down to Denny's? They
They're
got
like,
that all-American burger. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! I fed them
you
the
see?
biggest. I fed them the biggest lie.
I
could
pledge
think of.
allegiance to the flag. Oh crap! I forgot it.
They're like, "Why are you here?" "Oh no, officer, I'm here for the Comic-Con. I'm from an anime called Hitaya. Everyone dresses up as a nation. Yeah, I'm Mexico. I'm from that, and there's no character in that anime called Mexico. I'm just
Yeah, but
making
they're
shit.
never going to know that. Would be scary, though. If
I'm
a
like,
cop
you know,
did
anime-
He'd be like, that's not right.
Oh, no, one of them's like,
Season
"You mean-"
4. Season 4.
I'm like, anime, right? He's like, "Oh, anime, Japanese cartoon. Oh, you mean like Dragon Ball Z?" I'm like, "Yes. I am
Yes,
Goku's
there's one show
sidekick.
that you're aware of.
I'm dressed as one of the characters they fight in that anime." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I recognize you now."
Sure.
He's like, what are you, Inuyasha?
Yeah, because in one episode, Mr. Piccolo fights immigrants, so I'm one of them.
It's like, you're from the 5th episode of Saint Seiya Online. Like, what? Frame 337. He's like a hyper anime fan. That would be crazy.
You actually are an anime character.
He's like, oh no, he knows what he's talking about.
I had to show them that I had a valet.
He brings out,
parking ticket
all of a
and
sudden he
everything.
turns enemy. He's like, so, it's been a long time.
Is there any words of wisdom or advice that you would like to? No.
Just shut that shit down right now.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. Would you like to share with our listeners, people that
Help
are?
me tell you how to help you help me. Well, I mentioned earlier, just don't ever give up on it. It's something that if you truly have a passion for, it's not something you get in for the money, I promise. It's something that you get in because it's just something that you love. And if you're good at it, you'll be fine. But no matter how good you are, never stop trying to find ways to improve, no matter what that means, whether that's getting coaching, whether that's going to conventions. I mean, I networked a ton at conventions, guys. I mean, how do you think I've met all the people that I knew? I met them before I was actually working on the same level as they were. So it just takes a lot of effort. Got to get out there. You have to get out there digitally with a platform of some kind, a brand, something. Try a bunch of stuff until something clicks. You brought up Optimus Prime Rib earlier. Annoying Orange didn't start off as Annoying Orange. They did a bunch of other stuff, and then they made one of those, and it just it's like, you think we should do another one? I don't think we should do it now. So yeah. Whatever you do, do it heartily with all thy might.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for not talking about any of my other career things that I've worked on, or anything else.
I looked at your IMDb.
I was waiting
There's
for the question, like,
there's
hey, what-
3,000 plus.
Name some
entries, man.
stuff, things that you worked on, so you can be like,
All right, you have 5 seconds. Name everything you can right now.
What does it look like? A Time Machine Man? So yeah, you can hear me in Detective Pikachu. You can hear me in Bumblebee movie. You can hear me.
Wait, the movie or the
underwater.
game?
Yeah,
The movie. I filled in for Ryan Reynolds. I thought we were clear about that. You'll hear me sprinkled throughout. It's hard to tell the difference between mine and his, which that's not me. The audio engineer was freaking. He's a miracle.
I gotta stop watching that movie. High.
And then And right before the final battle, you'll hear me as the news reporter announcing the annual Rhyme City Pokemon Parade. I was like,
I did hear that. I was
I
like,
didn't, yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah, all the other actors only got to say their names because they all got Pokemon characters, and I got actual sentences. my favorite part of that movie that I worked on, because it's a funny story behind it. So we were doing scratch for the trailer at the time, not for the film, and the cage match between Charizard and Pikachu. He doesn't know how to use his powers yet, and he gets up and he's like going into a ball, and he's like, Pika, Pika. They thought mine was funnier than Ryan Reynolds' version, so they left mine in the film. So that's actually me in the movie. Doing the
Holy crap,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
Wait, that was me. And all the kids are like, that's Daddy. That's so funny. Suck it, Ryan. They beat you out of your own job. I'm just kidding.
I'm pretty
Ryan's freaking awesome. He's always been so nice to me on the internet, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I heard he's a really like laid back, really cool individual.
Well, I booked after I guess we technically met through Honest Trailers because we didn't actually meet. We just worked on the same thing together. But he was aware because they watched Honest Trailers. That's obviously what they were ripping off in Deadpool. They knew what I sounded like, so they knew who it was. And then I had auditioned and booked Hitman's Bodyguard, which came out right after that. And Ryan Reynolds knew who it was. And instead of putting the @ symbol, he put a hashtag and said, so he could have tagged me. That would have been awesome. But he put a hashtag. He was like, check out the new trailer for Hitman's Bodyguard, hashtag epic voice guy. And I was like, oh, he knows who I am. And then that led to connecting with them through Aviation Gin, which has ended up being really, just a whole lot of fun for that one. Because they just do these ridiculous things on Twitter. And I just like making people laugh. So he did one where he was trying to come up with, there was the failed slogans for Aviation Gin, and Ryan's just going through all these horrible things that they came up with. And I think I mentioned something on, a comment, and Aviation Gin was like, oh, you got to read this line in the epic trailer voice. So I just like, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well just do it. So I got my wife's scarf and made an ascot, then put on my suit coat. So I look like the Three Tenors. I got it in the booth and I did like a super epic version, like while holding the gin in my hand. And Aviation Gin's like, holy crap, that's going to be the new ringtone for all our employees. And then Ryan Reynolds' account goes, our employees, that's going to be the ringtone at my funeral. I don't know what that means. I'm just saying that this is awesome. Next thing I know, I got a message from Aviation Gin over Twitter. They're like, the boss wants to send you a gift because that video did really well. I think it got like 1 million views or something. And he sent us like 2 cases of gin. And then this Valentine's Day, I hit him back up. I was like, this is the 20th anniversary of the day I proposed. And I know you guys probably have some autographed bottles from Ryan at Aviation Gin somewhere. Would there be any way? And maybe he could just say hi to her on Twitter. It didn't have to be anything big. She's just a huge, huge fan. And they gave us a whole gift bag, including an autographed bottle from Ryan. And then he said, happy anniversary, Amanda and John, like tagged us both on Twitter. And she was like, and I was like, and she's like, how did you pull all this up? I was like, you know what the best part was? It was free.
Best gifts are from the heart, but not the bank.
The best, yeah, exactly. The best gifts are the ones you don't have to pay for.
Those are the best gifts, yeah.
Yeah. So
was it you that posted the card commercial, or did it just somehow Facebook know we knew each other and it just appeared? Because I remember seeing that, I was like, holy shit, that's John. What?
Oh, the Mitsubishi. Yeah, that was required.
That's what it was.
To post that as well. Yeah, there was a Mitsubishi national spot that I was actually on camera for. But Underwater is actually a pretty decent horror movie. It came out in January, right before lockdown happened, so it didn't get a very fair shake. But it's worth checking out because it's actually old school aliens, old school like Abyss. It's a pretty decent cool movie. You can hear me as TJ Miller kind of throughout the film. Any of the radio chatter is probably me, and it's actually a decent flick too. Then there's a lot of like Netflix series you can see me on, like anime stuff, which is a whole totally different experience, since that seems like the general theme of this podcast. Anime is a whole different creature. You have to be good at doing multiple things at the same exact time, because the words will go across the screen. They'll start here, and then it'll highlight as you're supposed to speak. And sometimes the timing is off, and you have to match the flaps of the mouth as much as possible while still performing in that character voice. So you're doing 3 things at the same time. And to be able to get decent enough to get through that, pretty quick without just, let's do it again until we get the flaps right. That took some time. That took quite a few sessions to get good at it. Mm-hmm. And now, honestly, ADR is probably one of my favorite jobs to do, because I get to act and I get to do character voices, and I'm doing something that's not easy to do, and I'm getting pretty good at it, and it's kind of fun to play around with it and do it. It's like, man, that looks like you really said that right there. Cool, let's move on to the next thing. See what else. Oh, video games. So, big video game fan ever since I was a little kid. So, getting to work on any video game stuff was awesome. But I've worked on some of my personal fan favorites. Mega Man. I was Torchman in Rush and Mega Man 11. I got to work in a lot of Elder Scrolls Online stuff, which is fairly recent. Actually, there's quite a few chapters out there right now that you can hear me as various characters in. World of Warcraft, that was a big one for me. I've been a fan since I was a kid, back playing Warcraft with the Zug-Zugs. So getting to be some creatures in that's actually a great story too. I don't know how long your deal is, but I kind of just said yes to it before I knew what all the details were, and find out it was in Irvine. If you don't know, it's almost as far as it is from LA to Comic-Con to go to Irvine. But I'm just like, yeah, I'll go. And then I get down to Blizzard, and it's really cool. But I got there I left with a quarter of a tank of gas, not knowing how long the drive was going to be. And it's like 3 hours and 45 minutes. I'm like, oh, this must be some serious traffic. And I kept driving and driving. I'm like, holy crap, where is Irvine? I coasted there on fumes. And I started looking at the time. They'd booked me for 4 hours with no script. No script, guys. They sent me the name of the species. Made up species that don't exist. That's not very helpful for what voices I'm going to be doing. So I didn't even know what I was going to do. I knew they'd booked me for 4 hours, and I looked at the clock, and my session started at 4, which meant that I wouldn't get done till 8, and I would have to drive back through. No, it was from 2 to 6. I would have to drive back through the worst traffic on the worst day in LA, through LAX. Right. It was going to be a nightmare. So I go in there, I kind of spaz out, get a lot of content from their museum area where they got the full-size Overwatch weapons, a lot of really cool stuff. And then they get me back to the booth and it's like, we got this guy to do this thing. And we did both characters in 20 minutes flat until we were done. And I was like, that's it? And I was expecting so much worse. And it was like, oh crap, this is going to be a lot. My throat's going to be gone because I'm going to, that's going to just destroy everything. By tomorrow I'm going to be, and I was done. And I still had my voice. And I was like, that's it? And they're like, yeah, you can go. I was like, I guess I'm walking to the gas station now then. So stuff like that, just it makes me feel like that, I'm in the right job, because if I wasn't ready for it, or if I wasn't good enough to do it, I would still be, 6-7 hours in a session going, take 97. I've seen a few like that, but thankfully they weren't on me. Earlier in my career, I had some faux pas. I've messed up a few times, but I've gotten okay at it now. enough to stay in it. God of War. Go ahead.
Sorry. I remember reading, somebody posted something about, being a voice actor is sometimes actually pretty dangerous because the voice directors are telling you, oh no, just do this or do this. And I heard some voice actors are actually they've had to have surgery to their vocal cords before. They're coughing up blood and stuff sometimes. And there's not really a lot of oversight.
That was the old days though.
Okay, cool.
It's changed so much since then. That's one of the reasons, one of the several reasons that they've striked in the past was because there was no safety conditions, especially for mocap stuff. There was not even a safety coordinator for mocap sessions. There's no stunt guy. So they're just doing it, So, in the old days, if you were going through the script and you came upon a big, rah, or death or whatever, you did it right then, and it didn't matter. And I heard horror stories of people coming out of sessions coughing up blood because they just ripped their vocal cords to pieces. And other studios had been known to use what's called throat coat. Extremely dangerous to use throat coat because throat coat's basically Ambisol for your throat, and it numbs it, and it makes you feel like, oh, miracle cure, I can keep working. What you're doing is you're not feeling the damage you're doing because it's all numbed, and you keep going and you do further damage. I've heard people completely destroy their voice beyond repair, no longer had a career. So you do have to be. I try to schedule mine on the weekend, so I have time to recover. I try to know how vocally stressful it is. If there's one that I think's too hard, I'm just like, hey, can we just push this one to the end? Because this is a big, long, 5-second death curdling scream of, dying or falling off a cliff, whatever. Case in point, I was just about to mention God of War 4, and I'd been doing 6 miles a day walking, and the day before I had done 12 miles. But I've been doing 6 miles a day for a long time, 3 months. So I thought 12 miles wouldn't have been that big of a deal. And then I was one of the characters I did for the game was the biggest Hellwalker guy. So, and I was so much more worried about the voice for once than the efforts, because usually the efforts are the scary part. That's the part you're talking about. But this one, they actually flew somebody in from Iceland to make sure that we were saying things in ancient Norse correctly. That's how accurate God of War decided they wanted to be, because they know that nerds are going to be like, that's not the correct pronunciation.
It's not the correct pronunciation.
He has a Memphis accent.
So they had, yeah, exactly. So I had to say these Swedish chef lines, but accurately, and it was like, you know, like that. And it's vocally hard, and you're trying to concentrate and say the words right, and you're doing an effort at the same time. Like you're getting hit or kicked or sliced, or in this case, I was getting electrocuted, and I had a head-mounted camera on, like a mic system thing, because they had multiple cameras and multiple ways to record the audio. And it wasn't mocap. It was just a way to record different versions of the audio. But it was still a rig on my head that I knew was not cheap. And as soon as I did that, from being electrocuted, all the muscles just, and I was like, timber, and I went straight down. I remember putting my hands up to protect the head thing rather than my face, because I was more worried about the equipment. And I remember everybody on the other side of the glass going, like, no. And they're like, you okay? I was like, muscles just seized up. I'm fine.
The head thing's okay. The head thing's okay.
It's okay. I saved the mics. Everything's cool. The scariest part of that session was, like, on break, I saw them looking me up on IMDb. I'm like, oh no, is this good or bad? I don't know what this means.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
My IMDb does not exactly look like a stellar resume, because there's a lot of stuff missing on it.
It's amazing. As far as
There's a few things. There's a few things on there that I don't even know. Somebody just added them. I never actually did anything.
I was gonna say, did you actually do it, or are they giving you credit for someone else? Oh.
Somebody just credited me for a thing, I'm guessing, that I was either supposed to do or they were going to ask me to do.
Wow.
They credited me for it.
He was the stunt double for Ryan Reynolds. Oh.
There you go. The vocal stunt double.
Bring in the Zach Galifianakis stunt double. Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, so this is going to be
3 feet shorter and 3 feet wider.
So throwback question. What happened to Ravage, the Incel Comic-Con?
TSA happened.
Oh, no.
They destroyed him.
What?
Savages.
Too much cocaine.
When I got him out, and his face was like just hanging by the electrical cords. He looked like a Borg that had been shot in the face.
Aww.
And I'm like, no, Ravage, what have you done to my kitty?
Did you give
All
him
the
at least
king's horsemen and all the king's men could not put Ravage together again.
I was telling him about that, like, super briefly, like, oh my gosh, this was, like, I guess the one way he was, like, really, like, messing with people, because he did it just, like, because you did.
That was a lot of fun. It was just like, I took Conan O'Brien's thing with the Insult Comic Dog and just did Transformers version, and that was a lot of fun. I made so many fun videos with that thing. If only I had a Ravage cosplay, or I mean a Soundwave cosplay, so I could have had Ravage in the arms, like one fake arm, and then Ravage actually. I think that would have been a even better video.
That would have been hilarious.
But I was brand new to conventions at the time, and it was something I thought nobody else had done, which they hadn't. The next year, somebody had 2 Ravage puppets, and I'm like,
lame. Yeah, they stole it from you.
Yeah, they did. They saw me the previous year and decided to do it themselves.
Right.
But yes, I would just go up to, because Ravage had a Russian accent in Beast Wars by Buddy Lee. He's like one of my best friends in this business. He was supposed to be in the show, but he was busy something else, and they tried to get him in at the very last. Like, we still got 1 role left for Beast Wars. Would you be? He's like, yeah. They pitched him way down, but yes, he's the voice of Comrade Ravage. So that's the voice I did. I did Insult the Comic Dog, but as Russian. And so it's like, for me to lubricate on, People loved it, though. That was so much fun.
It was great.
Greg Berger didn't like it, though. He was just like, no.
Oh, right. But Garrett,
he did the video, but afterwards I was like, would you mind signing Ravage? He goes, no. And I'm like,
sorry.
But I didn't think he liked me for the longest time.
Oh. But I think Gary Chalk really liked it. He was like, yeah.
Well, because Gary Chalk's, I mean, you remember what he said on the panel with David Kay, don't you? You can't even repeat that even on this side.
I've never seen David Kay.
I'll never say that again.
David
Kay's face was like,
no, you crossed the line. No. We were all like,
Wait. Somebody said something offensive or something?
Oh, yeah. Well, and it wasn't well. No, it was still pretty offensive in 2010 or 2012.
Okay. To Rachel, how offensive on a scale of 1 to Voltaire with experience with Goku? How offensive?
I don't even know what that means.
Do you know who Voltaire is?
She
by the
doesn't-
way,
she doesn't watch the
By any
podcast.
chance, do you know who? I shared the story on the
I
podcast.
know who you are.
Okay, do you know who Voltaire is?
Me?
Our guest, yes, John.
No, I don't know. Sorry.
Wait, do you mean like the singer Voltaire?
Yeah, Voltaire, the guy that made the songs for like Billy and Mandy and.
Yeah.
Remember,
him
I
I
told
know.
you I almost got
But I
into a
don't, like,
fist fight
know
with
him.
him.
No,
Yeah,
I don't remember that story.
I almost got into a
Goku,
fist
you know
fight.
how many stories you talk about getting in a fist fight?
Okay, well, he called me a dirty Mexican and I almost kicked his ass.
Slightly worse.
Yeah, it was worse than that.
It was
It
worse.
was much worse than that.
Really? Holy
It was.
crap.
It was
sure
during
it's on-
during a fully packed panel too. Gary
I'm sure
Chug
it's
just
on
doesn't.
YouTube.
He
I'm
just
sure it's on
doesn't care.
YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, Voltaire called me a dirty Mexican in front of an audience.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
worse than that.
He was doing a performance on stage for a formal dance, and it was so dead. It looked like a middle school dance when it first started.
Well,
So
I mean,
dead.
what he said was more offensive than that, but he didn't say it to a specific individual. If
Right.
he called another
It
character
was
on the
just
show
in
that
general.
in character.
Well,
but
to
it
be
was just
fair,
like a very
it wasn't
new
just out of the
dude.
blue. It was because somebody had to be that
Yeah.
guy. Be like,
If
okay,
they were R-rated
if
and they could say
Transformers,
anything they wanted to, what would they
And
say?
Gary Chuck just went off.
He went
Nobody
straight for the heart,
cared.
man.
For the
Like,
jugular,
whoa.
heart and head.
A
double
much, a
tap.
too
It was
much,
like,
a much too much.
Yeah, no, this guy was
David
pretty
did
bad.
not have a chance. It was like, ooh.
When I got in Voltaire's face, he sent his
No,
middle-aged
no,
fan
no, no.
girls. He's like, army of middle-aged fan women, attack! And they like got in my face. Leave him alone.
Yeah, Shatner did that to me on Twitter one time. Because some fan was like, "Which one do you like better, Star Trek or Baby Band?" I'm like, "Well, I like Star Trek for this," and he's like, "Some one of my red shirts show this guy what the difference between science fantasy and science fiction is. Because I'm William Shatner, and I got a toupee."
So does anyone have any questions? Any last-minute
Yes.
questions?
What?
Yes.
I had 8 of them, and then we answered them all.
Okay. What about you, Sonic?
Yeah, that was pretty much the question. He answered that question, and I really
This is the
appreciate.
most
Thank you
Sonic
for
paid
answering the question.
attention. Sonic has
What do
not
you-
been on his phone.
Well, where does he come from? Has he been here this whole time?
Oh yeah, I've been here.
His microphone's like 15 feet long. Look how small he is next to him.
No, it's just really big, and he's really small.
It's like,
Please. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Do
Death
you
was
have
just
any
big.
questions, Mr. Bailey, sir?
I was going to say, if you guys would be interested in checking out my newest content, I found a way. Technology's finally caught up with my brain. Because the kind of stuff that I've always wanted to make, I'm finally able to make it. There's a new app out there called Impressions app, and it does not make impressions, but it is just the name of an app that does deepfake processing. And they have partnered with me to make content, which I really love. They've unfortunately only got a certain list of celebrities that I can pick from, so I'm kind of constrained, but they're adding new ones every week. And so if you don't know anything about deepfake technology, there was a Collider roundtable with George Lucas and Tom Cruise, and they all had deepfakes processed over them. They're all professional sound-alikes, but they deepfake the faces, and it looks just like the real person. So I've started making content where I have this thing called Celebrity Auditions, and it's basically famous movies or famous scenes where you have a bunch of different famous people auditioning for it, which is always, and I just improvise through the thing, but it always turns out really funny. It does really well.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of them.
Yeah, so
Like on your Instagram, they're great.
I'm making more content on TikTok than anything else, at least until the president gets rid of it because I don't like it. It's a Chinese app from the Chinese people. It's from China, right? But but I'm also I've been waiting for this technology to come for a while because I wanted to be able to make my own version of movie trailers and not just static images with mouths moving or what. I wanted to actually kind of do the entire film in like less than a minute, but like acting it out myself, like doing the voices and stuff. But that's coming.
Yeah, no, definitely want to check that out.
Sounds great.
You can see it on Instagram, you can see it on YouTube. I just did the Gears of War movie trailer where I did like a bunch of different actors all being Marcus Phoenix. Because I mean, we're supposed to have gotten that movie like a long time ago, and the new game coming out, I figured it was a good time. They had just added Bruce Willis. I'm like, Bruce Willis would have been pretty cool as Marcus Phoenix. And then I just kind of went through the line. I was like, Bruce Willis as Marcus, Owen Wilson. It's like, wow, look at all these aliens out there, man. Wow. I don't know where. I really don't know where to look at. Normally, there's a guy with like a tennis ball and a pole, and he's supposed to look like, oh, look, aliens are gonna get us. Oh, pew pew.
Man, I want you and Doug Walker now to do like an Owen Wilson off because you guys.
I do so many voices. I just stopped trying to. I used to think it was very important to name them all and write them down. When I was very new to this, I was like, I want to be the man of whatever many. I need to come up with 1,000 because man of 1,000 voices sounds cool. So I was like writing down every single little voice I could do. But then my manager, like once I finally got a manager and I started getting consistent, like sounded like auditions, I don't even know who these people are anymore. I'm like, who's this guy? Where did this actor come from? I've never heard of him before. And I have to look them up to either remember or they're just some totally new person every day. And they're like, hey, can you finish this within the hour? And I'm like, it's 2:57. You mean, but no, within the hour. You have 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
3 minutes to sound like this person you've never heard of before. So yeah, pressure. Under pressure. But I will say, they just recently added, I've been waiting for him for a long time. They just added Liam Neeson to Impressions app. And I've been waiting for him for a long time because I have a very particular video I want to make.
I want to hear... You need to do one where he's like ordering a pizza and he's like giving them the same speech.
What do you take my ideas for, man? Jeez.
We're donating ideas.
I already had that. That's the idea I'm going to do. So I'm going to have a duet. There's a trend on there called new acting challenge, and some girl's like, act with me. Your lines are in blue, and I'll do the other half. And she's like, she's acting, and people are just kind of like they're making fun of it. But I wanted to do one with Liam Neeson goes, new acting challenge. You do the. It's like, I want to order a pizza. I don't have any money, but I do have a particular set of skills.
The reason why the reason why that idea came to my head because I was watching Ted, and he shows up to the cashier. He shows up
some frosted flakes.
They're Lucky Charms. That these are strictly for children. No, so nobody will follow me.
Nope, are you sure you're not after my Lucky Charms?
He's buying a box of tricks and he's asking them. So he like, are these exclusively for children? Is somebody gonna follow me? And at the end of the movie, he comes back because somebody whipped his
beat
ass
the crap out of him over the
tricks. Over the tricks.
Cereal.
He lied to me.
My favorite thing that I've ever seen him do was Life's Too Short. Has anybody seen that? It's an HBO show.
Mm-mm.
Well, it stars the guy who is what's his face, the Ewok. Is Willow? I can't remember his name.
Who's also in Leprechaun.
Yeah,
he's the guy from Leprechaun.
Harry Potter. Yeah. So
Oh.
it's basically a mockumentary about his life, made by the guy who made the original British Office. So you know that guy from
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais. That's him. So Ricky Gervais made this show with Stephen Merchant, and it's about this little guy but every episode they have a major A-list celebrity come in. Mm-hmm. And it's funniest one. So the Willow guy's like, he came in to see the Stephen Merchant and Ricky Gervais, and he's sitting there, and all of a sudden the door opens up, and it's like Liam Neeson comes in. It's like, oh yeah, send him in. So he's sitting there, he's like,
I want to get into comedy.
he stays in that voice the whole time, so serious. And he's like, all right, let's you want to do a scene? It's like, all right, let's do a scene. I want to work at the greengrocer. Some grocery store thing. And he's like, hello there, how are you? And he's like, I'm good. Can I get some bananas?
Yes, you can have some bananas. Also, I have AIDS.
And he kept throwing AIDS, and everyone's like, Liam, AIDS is not, it's not funny. And the very end when he's like, all right, fine, you be the guy, and I'll be the greengrocer. So he switches roles, and he's like, it'll be $5.97. And he's like, $5.97. He's like, yes, those groceries cost money, so I can get my paycheck, so I can pay the doctor because I have AIDS. It's like, no. It's so freaking. If you haven't seen that, it's definitely worth it. The Liam Neeson thing I mentioned earlier about acting, pretending to be another person, that's also an episode of Life's Too Short. Oh man,
write that down. Life's Too Short.
Life's Too Short.
I just recently got the HBO app, even though I can't afford it.
Bro, why? You could have just used my password.
That's how he got it.
That's how he did it.
Well, fuck.
Shh, you guys ruined it.
Damn, only 7 people own a Netflix account. There's only a few people who have HBO.
Because like, I don't pay for Netflix or Hulu or The fuck do I actually pay for?
See, I thought HBO bought Cinemax. HBO Max. I just assumed it was.
I pay for that shit too. I don't know why I didn't get it.
Then it'll just be soft porn with famous people, right?
Yeah.
Liam Neeson in Deuce Bigelow, Mayor Gigolo.
I'm having sex with you, but I hope I don't get AIDS.
Oh wow.
Is there okay?
Warwick Davis is the guy from.
Yeah.
Yes, Warwick Davis. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, chat.
He has a. I don't know how do you forget a name like Warwick Davis?
He's
I don't know.
super famous.
I'm old. I can't remember things. All those white people look the same to me.
I say that
This one's particularly short.
It's a particularly short.
Yep.
Let's see. Is there any? Did you have any questions for us, or I just want to say,
Hey, what's
Goku, stop telling people I don't pay for my internet. There's a black van outside my house.
There's a Mexican out there not paying for internet, people. All right, let's get our crack team of ISIS on there.
I once.
FBI is already looking
I'm
at
not
him.
going to say the name of the convention
Have you not already
I'll get
cut
into
that
trouble.
team?
Federal Bureau of ISIS.
It's another acronym.
I'm not going to say the name of the con because I'll get in trouble legally. I'll get in trouble. But I snuck into a convention by wearing a gray suit and a golden name tag, and they thought I was staff.
That's all you need.
Right on.
Because I wasn't about to buy.
Well, we found a cheat at Comic-Con, y'all. So I don't know if anybody else knows this.
It's like, oh, I'm
They
so
may-
glad
may-
you're here.
They may have figured this out since then, but we all had a Hall H hack. And if you haven't heard about the Hall H hack, I'm so sorry. There's an elevator on the second floor above Hall H. It's for handicap only. So if you have somebody that has a disability like my family does, you go right downstairs, and as you're exiting, would you like your return bracelet? Why, yes, we would. Thank you very much. We'll be coming back soon. And then you just walk right in. No line and no waiting. You're welcome. I think they've already found that, and they plugged the leak, but we used to get H every year that way.
That's better than my dress up as one of the staff and wear a gold name tag.
Look, there was nobody around, okay? We did not push any disabled people out of the way to use the elevator. So anybody getting all mad at me and getting offended.
Well, that's how I snuck into
nobody there.
That's how I snuck into a club in Houston. They were charging $20 to get in. I was like, the hell? So I go to the back and I grab a black jacket and I grab like a plate with the metal cover, and I'm like, hot plate, hot plate, hot plate. And I snuck right in because no one's gonna stop a Mexican saying hot plate.
That's wrong.
It's wrong, but it's true. I got in. I saved $20. Fucked up part is they don't even serve food. But nobody questioned it. As soon as you say hot plate and you look like one of the wait staff, they don't even fucking question it.
Hot plate.
Like if you walk anywhere with a ladder, you can get in for free. I've done that twice.
I saw a dude try to go in the door with the ladder, and the door closed before he got there, and his ladder just smashed right through the glass.
Jeez.
I was like,
That's why you're supposed to have two people. You gotta have a white guy to look like the supervisor.
The white hat, not the yellow hat.
And then, by the way, if you ever want to pretend that you're working somewhere, this is all you have to do. Just point. Just point at places, and people are like, oh, he's busy supervising something.
You need a clipboard.
Just know what you're thinking and point at things.
Just have a notepad and just be like, oh.
Yep.
I just walk in with a
Like,
wrench.
mhm.
I walk in with a wrench and they think I'm there to fix something.
I don't know. In LA, they'd assume that's a weapon. You'd be in trouble.
Well, he stole it. No, I did not.
He's got a wrench, people. All right, he's trying to take down the wall.
I did not. Actually, the name of the club is Escapade, and actually snuck in.
He's got a club, people. We all heard it.
I stole the idea from George Lopez, but I actually did get in for free. Anyways, I want to say thank you so much for being on here. We have gone.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, you're talking to me. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to the Sonic guy. That
I mean, if you're gonna steal the podcast from me, at least you know. I don't want to keep paying.
I'll leave since you guys pay me. I'm just waiting for PayPal confirmation.
We sent the check in the mail.
Yeah,
snail mail. It'll be 3 to 6 weeks.
We sent the Subway
He's like,
sandwich
I gotta
overnight.
cash that check that Trump's sending everybody first. Like $400 a week.
I need $400 a week. Anyway, I do. Anyways, so thank you very much. This was amazing. I am.
It was epic, but whatever.
It was epic.
My face hurts.
Probably epic would be the word to use. Yeah.
Yeah.
Branding is everything.
It was.
Brandon? I didn't meet Brandon. Where is he?
He's behind Sonic. He's a lot smaller.
Oh, that's who that is. Okay.
You're you.
He's asleep on the bed.
It'd be creepy if a body just went.
He's awake.
Alive. Just get real quick your social media, Instagram, wherever people can follow
My
you.
social security number is
wait, hold on.
media, social media. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. I need to write that down.
724. Just Epic Voice Guy, guys. Just Epic Voice Guy and all the things. I'm on the ones that I hope people go to the most would be TikTok, Instagram, and what is that? Stardust. Stardust is a new one for folks to review or react to trailers, but review movies and TV shows. So it's specifically anime, TV shows, live action movies, all that good stuff, all movie related, TV related, screen related stuff, and do reviews there and trailer reactions there to all the new stuff that come out. It's been a little slow lately because there's just, with quarantine, not a lot of movies are coming. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are coming out are just kind of
Yeah, I noticed it's a slow movie year
and $30
because
rentals.
A lot of my neighbors are celebrating finally a year without Marvel movies, and I'm all like, "Fuck you!"
I wanted a Marvel movie.
Man, we could get a Marvel movie this year anyway.
Yeah, you guys don't remember Black Widow back in?
Right.
I'm waiting for a Marvel movie with a Hispanic in it.
I'm still waiting for Free Guy to come out in July.
Marvel Cinematic Universe presents the Elote Man.
I hope that this whole thing with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds has all been leading up to a Deadpool 3 Logan crossover.
Hell yeah.
That's what everybody wants anyways.
Right.
You know they're gonna freaking do it.
They should.
And also
They're
what
just
I've
really stringing it out.
his idea is to do the story of Deadpool destroys the Marvel universe. That way they can erase everything in the Fox universe in one movie.
That'd be cool.
And it would be hilarious, which I think
That'd be
that's
awesome.
a great idea. So basically it would be an expanded version of the after credit scene of Deadpool 2.
Yes. That would be great.
It starts right after he shoots Ryan Reynolds and just carries on more and more.
and then Pikachu makes a cameo.
Exactly. Well, I won't give you any details, but I will say that the video that I'm working on is for Liam Neeson is a Pokemon parody. And I hope people appreciate it because I think it's going to be very funny. I kind of just crossed two movies over together, but I think it'll come out pretty well. I would love to tell you guys more upcoming stuff. Unfortunately, everything's been postponed. The only thing I'm allowed to talk about without giving any details away is Mafia Trilogy. You can hear me in Mafia Trilogy coming out later, and there's a cartoon coming out this fall that I still have not been permitted to talk about, and there's several other really big titles that I would love to announce, and Elder Scrolls Online, and a couple other things that I've already worked on in the past. But I'm getting there.
Oh no, I completely understand.
To catch up with us.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
I almost got in trouble when I had told everyone at Comic Palooza about before they announced it, they were already planning a sequel to the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. And I had said something to the audience at Comic Palooza, and I got an earful about it.
Ruh-roh.
So
I got an earful.
You weren't supposed to say anything.
I have this amazing story from one of my jobs, and I can't share it because I got in huge trouble for even talking. And I was like, a lot of voice actors talk about locations, though. Like, why does that make a difference? Anyway, but yeah, so I have to be very, very careful. I had to scour the internet for any mention. Because all I basically said was like, hey, who has two thumbs and recorded at this dude's studio, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. Like, I didn't give location details, no job, whatever. And a lot of other people were like, oh, look, I'm here in Salami Studios today. Oh, I'm in Nickelodeon, whatever. That's normal, but that's one time I was like, wah, and the guy hasn't hired me back since, and that's been a year. So be careful. You mess in this job, you mess up one time, and you won't get hired from that person anymore.
Yeah, no, I got lucky. I still get insider info, thankfully. Yeah, but no, don't do it.
Last thing I would like to ask you, just to remind, I'll send you guys a link sometime. Maybe or you can pull it off Instagram. But yeah, my stand up tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I'm gonna be doing an hour set. I've never done an hour before. The longest set I've ever done is 10 minutes. So this will be very interesting to see if I can even fill a full hour. But I mean, hey, I talked your guys' head off for
7 p.m. What time zone?
Yeah.
7 Pacific.
Pacific.
So
Okay, that'd be before we go on the air.
It's 2 hours ahead of Central. It's 3 hours ahead of Eastern.
Yeah, it's 10 Eastern. It's
7 9
Eastern.
Central.
It'll be 9 o'clock here.
Or 7
Yeah.
10 Eastern.
So
It'll
yeah,
just
after the
end on
podcast tomorrow,
Yeah.
just go right over there.
Right
and
over
enjoy this
there.
There you go.
Lovely
Yeah.
stand-up.
There you
You do
go.
have to pay for it. I do get a little money from it because I have kids to feed and stuff. I know, it's stupid.
Ooh, surprise! Great question. Are you ever going to come to Houston for conventions?
Well, when Houston stops being the hotspot for viruses, sure.
Well, I mean, besides that, yeah.
Just freaking wear some masks and stay apart,
Well,
morons, and I'll come out there.
hey man,
Shit.
we
Well, no,
pride
yeah.
ourselves in
Somebody
being
sneezing on me,
number
man.
one.
Number one.
Number one.
Texas just has to be number one in everything. Every time. Oh, yeah? You guys have more coronavirus? Well, now we got more. It's like,
No.
Nobody has more cases than me, all right? There's this guy with the free internet and no pants on.
Oh no, I broke my selfie stick.
Thank God.
He broke his selfie stick. Now he's scratching his nose and wiping his face.
Oh
That's
no.
what she said.
God damn it. I hate being dyslexic.
Now he's cursing to make sure he doesn't make it to heaven.
Oh, I already know where I'm going.
Same.
Thank you
I
so
want
much
my
for
th-
coming
yeah,
on,
no,
man.
thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank
We,
you.
Keep it
You
much.
guys
Thank
made me
you.
leave now, so.
No, you don't have to leave. You can
We're
stay.
just gonna see a hand behind
You
you's
can
gonna
stay,
grab.
but we got to end. We're gonna end the podcast at least. We usually stay and talk a little bit. Thank you everybody for tuning
you
in.
want.
This is we had a lot of people tune in today. Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget Wednesday and Thursday. We also have other guests. Dahlia will be Thursday. We probably have another Texas Renaissance Festival clan to be here. They were once a part of Clanless, and they're not going to be on the podcast. We're negotiating with them. We're also negotiating with other guests to possibly be on the podcast. So we'll let you guys know when we have. All right, guys. Adios. Stay classy, everybody.